Hello, long time no see. Welcome back to the Swanscast podcast. We haven't been with you for a couple of weeks, well, a couple of months, I think, at this point. But all three of us are here back to chat about the end of the season as a whole, compare some of our predictions, rank the players, all the stuff we normally do end of season. So welcome back, Ben and Lee. Been a long time coming, this one. So hopefully we can still remember enough to give some good insight into the end of the season.
Yeah, Pio, long time no see. I think all three of us have just been a bit hectic, haven't we? It's just one of them. Luke, I know you tried a couple of times. We nearly did it a couple of times in recent weeks.
I gave up in the end.
Yeah,
I gave up
things
until
popping
these
up.
two were available. But it was like a couple of days, one of them, a couple of days the other. I was like, now we all need to be here for the last one of the season because we need to do the comparisons and stuff. So whatever is happening now, hopefully we'll be more consistent going forward. Obviously, it's a bit less frequent in the summer naturally, with a bit quieter going on, and Wales not in the World Cup, so nothing exciting for Welsh fans there. But we'll try and get some stuff coming out over the summer. So we're going to talk about perhaps some of the bits we've missed over the last couple of weeks. Not everything. We obviously haven't got all night to record this. We'll try and rein it in a little bit. We're going to compare our pre-season predictions to the reality of the league table and see how accurate we managed to get our predictions. I think some of them were okay, but others perhaps a little bit rough, I think is a nice way to put it. And we're going to rank the players' seasons as well. We did two rankings this season. We did one with the new transfers and we did one with the players in general. So that was a mid-season ranking we did of the players. So we'll just compare it to the mid-table or the mid-season ranking, see how they compare, and then maybe we'll pull up the ones we did for the new transfers just to see if perhaps their end result of the season lived up to perhaps the hype that we thought some of them might bring. And I know there's one in particular that is going to fall well short of any initial expectations, who I actually forgot completely about when I was setting up the spreadsheet. And I was trying to put names to the scores we'd done last time. And it was definitely a discrepancy because one of the players on the Swans website has disappeared. I couldn't work out for the life of me who it was. I did get there in the end. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm sure people can try and work out who that is. But where should we start then? So the Swans finished the season in 11th position on 64 points. I think the first thing for us to discuss really is, what do we make of the season? Like, how do you feel about what happened compared to what maybe you expected before we kicked the football? I can say that compared to last season, the Swans also finished 11th. However, last season we finished with 61 points, and this season we finished with 64 points. So no improvement in league position, but we gained an extra 3 points through the course of the season. So who wants to go first when they're talking about the year, really, and how we feel about Swansea City's season in the Championship?
Go on, Lee.
Yeah, I can go first if you want. It's been a while trying to remember the season, to be honest, but I think we probably ended up where we expected to end up. Like we went like a roundabout where you get in there, but I think where we finished was probably what I expected at the start of the season, just another mid-table finish. But I didn't have like massively high hopes at the start of the season. And we came in with Sheehan off the back of like he had a really good finish at the end of last season to me, and then we came in maybe with a bit of hope, but I thought we're just going to finish mid-table. We tailed off then, didn't we? We had a bit of a bad run in the Sheehan, and then same again, changed our manager mid-season. I think I can't remember the last time we've kind of not had a good consistent season, especially with a manager for a long time. Probably Martin was the last one that went all season, was it? Had a full season. So it's just, again, changing manager mid-season to try and get us back on track. And in all fairness, when Matos came in, we were so much better. Home form really picked up, didn't it? I think we were really good home form by the end of the season. I can't remember what the record was under Matos, but we done really well. And we had a bit of a spell that was so good that we thought we were in touching distance to the playoffs, and then we just tailed off a bit. So without sounding too boring, it was a bit of same old from the last like 3 or 4 seasons, really. But I really liked what Matos did when he came in, a bit more optimistic going into this season than I was probably this time last year. So let's see how it goes.
Just to add a bit of context, Matos is finished this season. Obviously, his time here so far, 31 matches with a 1.52 points per game average, which I think 1.52 is enough to get you in the playoffs.
Yeah, I want to say since he came in, he was like 7th for form from the point he joined the club to the end of the season, and obviously playoffs next season are expanded to 8 teams. So
Yeah, forgot about that.
It's hard to, shoot down the idea that we got to have some hope and promise going into the next season. Obviously, uncertainty with a few players maybe leaving and no sporting director, but we don't need to rip up the squad for once, I feel, which is nice.
So if you're 1.52 points per game is 46 games in a season. So what's that? It's going to be like 70 points ish, because the 5.2.52.
70, yeah.
So we would have missed out by a win, basically, if it was that for a season. Just to put context on it. Hull in 6th place were 73. However, if this is next season, then we would have been in because it's down to 8th. So if he continues 1.52, I think that generally is enough, especially if you're going down to 8th. 100.
Yeah.
So 8th place last season was 66. This season, 8th place was 69.
Yeah.
And the year before, it was 69 as well. So you're in that ballpark now with a 1.52, which obviously there's something new with the introduction of the 7th and 8th in the playoffs. I think we might have lost Ben briefly, so we'll try to get him back. But
he's just stunned into silence.
I know. I think the talk about the extra 2 playoff positions is stunned him. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. Hello.
I don't know.
I don't know if you could hear.
No, I was completely cut off. That little buffer is reflective of the last few weeks trying to get a podcast sorted, I think. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I was midway through speaking when I cut off or not. 70 can be enough, but it's not always. It's usually like 70 to 75 gets you 6th in it. So
yeah, that's what we were saying in your absence. Is obviously it's going to be 8th place now.
Yeah,
from next season. So I think 69 looked like the average for the last couple of seasons for 8th. So we would have been in on that sort of average.
I don't know if this is negative as well, but I think like this season in particular, just gone, was a real chance for someone to go up, like Hull did, and you had like Millwall and Middlesbrough and teams like that who were maybe not like touted as favourites, but they, Millwall were in a chance of automatic. Corvin went up and they weren't a team that came down. I think this season was in particular a chance for a team to go up, whereas I think next year is going to be a lot different with Wolves, Burnley, and West Ham coming down. And then you've got like Wrexham and Birmingham will invest again. You'll have teams like Sheffield United and Norwich who probably underperformed and will kick on. So it depends on the season, doesn't it? I think, like you said, if maybe Matos was at the start of the season, we could have been one of the teams with an outside chance, but we'll see how we go next year now. But
yeah.
So you mentioned a few names there. Sorry, before Ben gives us his thoughts. Just want to highlight what you're saying. So what you say, Millwall being an outside chance, yeah? So the bookies had them, because I noted down at the start of the season. They had them down for 11th in the league, 40-1 to win the league. Obviously, they didn't win the league, but the odds show kind of where they think they might fall. Now, having said that, I've said Millwall 11th at 40-1. Wrexham in 10th place with 15-1. So, that there's a massive gap. They saw top 10 as quite competitive, and then there was a bit of a jump. So Millwall were after that jump, so they probably did catch people off guard. Who's the other one that you mentioned? Hull? Hull were across the bookies. They were ranging from 19th to 21st, with odds from 80-1 to 150-1 pre-season. So that shows how nuts that is. However, based on some information that Ben shared with us earlier on this week, I don't know how much shock or surprise we should have at Hull's success based on the money that they're spending and perhaps in the ways that they're spending it, because they potentially fallen foul of more rules regarding the fair play, potentially. which, like ultimately they were under sort of I don't think they were under a transfer ban, but they couldn't sign any players they pay for, could they, last summer?
Yeah.
They were only allowed to spend on wages essentially because of falling foul of certain rules, which is why I think they were booked, or the bookies had them down the bottom end of the table. But it looks like perhaps that they've breached more things potentially. It's not been 100% confirmed yet. So does that take a bit of shine off their achievements?
It angers me, to be honest, because if they know now, they know they've breached the rules, how can that promotion be valid? Season hasn't started yet. It's not as if we're finding out about this like 10 games into their Premier League campaign, is it? We know this now before that campaign started. So if who did they beat? Borough. I know Borough had the whole Southampton scandal as well.
Oh god, it's a mess. This is another layer of that mess. If reality.
But if I'm Borough now, and it would have been the same no matter who they beat in the playoff final, I'm thinking we follow the rules financially. They haven't. They're in the Premier League, and it doesn't matter if they get like a 6-point deduction when they get relegated eventually. Now, does it? When they come back down to the Championship, because they'll have 100 million a year when they're in the Prem, and they'll have the parachute payments for 2-3 years.
As long as they
come down.
As long as they stay up.
Well,
you got to stay up a year first.
Well, no, you come down and you get 2 years parachutes regardless. If you come straight
I thought
back
you
down,
only get it if you're there for.
No, if you come straight back down, you get 2 years. It used to be if they came straight back down, you got 2 years, and if you stay there a year, then you get 3 years when you come down.
Yeah,
they must have something. They can't have no parachute, surely.
I can't remember. I feel like I've seen something that it was, because obviously there's a lot of yo-yo clubs and stuff. But you get the initial payday going up. I'm just not 100% sure you get the parachute payments unless you're there for longer than a season.
Regardless,
anyway, don't quote me on that. That's something I probably need to check.
The rules. They seem to have broken the rules anyway. So it's a bit shocking that they can just go up like that, no problem. What I was going to say about 2 minutes ago was, like, I agree with Lee. It was a massive opportunity not to go through the table one by one, team by team, but the points totals, 84 points got automatic promotion. It's such a low value compared to what we've seen in recent years. And it used to be 90 points was the benchmark for automatics, and more often than not, if you got 90, you'll be fine. We've seen in recent seasons now 2 teams finishing on 100 points. We've seen teams finishing on 90 points, 88 points, around that margin, and finishing in third and missing out.
Yeah.
So 84 points got second place, and I know for a team like us, 84-point season, everything's got to come together perfectly. But I am, a bit surprised some of the teams in that league. I think we talked about it at the start of the season, like, oh, this is such a good league now. There's so many good teams here. We were expecting it to be really difficult, but I think what's happened is because everybody has sort of progressed to a higher level, it just sort of became one massive block of teams.
Yeah.
And you've usually got like the top, 4, 5, 6 battering everyone. Whereas this season, it felt a bit more like anyone could beat anyone. So then everyone from second down to about, you'd probably have to say down to about 16th, 17th, honestly. Like, there was no easy games in that batch for me. It was well balanced.
Stoke finished 17th and they were in the playoffs for half the season.
Yeah, it was a massive chance for like a team like Hull, for example, or Millwall, and Borough as well. Like teams that have just been stuck in the Championship for so long, and they all had really good chances to finally. Coventry, another one, just really good chance to go up. I don't know. I felt like I was going back and forth there all season. Like, you looked at like Hull, for example, and Derby were in the mix for playoffs, and Millwall. And when we played them, I just thought they weren't that good. I never saw a team come down to us this season. I thought, oh, this is a good team. Like, this is a team that, apart from Coventry, maybe.
Yeah.
A lot of the other teams in that pack, nobody stood out. And I mean, people will probably come back and say, well, what does that say about us? And, well, fair enough, because we finished lower down, but there was a massive chance missed this year.
Yeah, you say nobody stood out, but we didn't stand out either.
No, I know. That's what I mean. Normally, if you go back to the past, since we've been in the Championship, since we came down, there was always a team, and I was like, oh my God, this is like a Premier League team in waiting. I remember Brentford would come down and batter us, and you'd be like, wow. Leeds, Ipswich, some of these teams, you'd be like, wow, these are way too good to be in this league. But I didn't get that off anyone this year.
Yeah, potentially. I think it's kind of a bit what Ben said. It's it's become more competitive, but in a way it feels less.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the quality's dropped, but I think in reality the quality's gone up, which is why it's become like this, I guess. And yeah, you've got a couple of the teams that have capitalized on maybe the lower points totals you need to get to these levels. A little bit of surprise in there. I think some of the teams that were expected to do very well really didn't. Leicester's got to be the main one there, which was a massive shock, I think, when it comes to relegation. Into like, I don't think I've seen anyone predicting Leicester were going to go down. They were one of the favourites to go back up. I think playoffs was something that they were more tipped for playoffs than automatics, but I think part of that was the uncertainty over what points deduction they might receive. But I don't think anyone expected the struggles that they had. I think ultimately for them, sacking their manager, even though he didn't have the best time, was probably the wrong decision. And then bringing in a Gary Rowett, who already had a team in the relegation zone, seemed a bit odd to me.
Yeah.
But there we go. That's the...
That was a massive factor though as well, because like the three teams that came down that normally dominate, like I know Ipswich managed to get up to second in the end, but they started really slow, didn't they? They were down there, and then Southampton were way down there, and they sat before they legally or illegally went on a big massive run and got into the playoffs.
I was going to say, but how can you even trust if Southampton's climb is even legit anymore?
I know, but I don't think you've ever had a season where like the three teams coming down like underperformed for so long. I know Ipswich got back up in the end, but like Southampton were way down. Leicester got relegated, and then you also had Sheffield Wednesday, who were basically 6 points for everyone, which you won't have again next year. So yeah, it's just funny season, really like a one-off season, I think.
Yeah, like you'd
Finished
be stunned
0 points as well. Crazy.
Yeah.
You'd be stunned now next season if Burnley, they always yo-yo. Even if they look average in the Prem, they always start strong in the Championship. And you look at like Wolves, they've already signed Trippier and Raul Jimenez. West Ham will have a super squad. Like they shouldn't have been. It was a tough season in the Prem. There's a lot of good teams. Like the teams coming down. Even Wolves, like they were bad for a while, but they got themselves together a bit at the end. And I doubt they'll lose many people either. They want so.
Speaking of Wolves, did you hear what Dean Saunders said about them the other day on TalkSport?
I did not.
He said that if Wolves were in any other league in the world other than the Premier League, they would be in with a chance of winning that league.
I wouldn't go that far, but you have to. I guess he's exaggerated what people are seeing from the Conference League, haven't they? Because it's just a mid-table Premier League team winning the Conference League every year now. So there's a bit stark the difference in quality. Like the bottom of the Premier League gets you more prize money than I don't know if it was Bayern Munich winning the Bundesliga or someone winning La Liga. It was something stupid like that. It could have been Serie A, one of those European leagues. The prize money is just that disproportionate compared to the Prem now. So I think they wouldn't win the league in any of those leagues, would they? But if you stuck Wolves in France or stuck Wolves in Italy, I think they'd probably be competing for European football. Definitely.
It's just they're just rage baiting, and that's what they do. Yeah, it's a sports bar with Cundy and all the stuff about Arsenal the last couple of weeks. It's been too much or funny. What do you think? I know you probably love Lee, to be honest.
I watch it in bits, so like it's enough rage bait for me, and then I don't watch it for a couple of weeks. So.
Anyway, Ben, back to the original question. Then, how would you sum up the season? Like, what are your thoughts on what's happened so far? Well, so far, like what happened?
It's easy to forget Xi'an was even here now, isn't it? It's obviously been that long. It does just feel like Xi'an being here was last season, and then Matos being here was this season. Like the style of play was completely different. The performance levels were completely different. I was never even worried we were going to go down, to be honest. Like if we'd kept Xi'an, we would have 1,000,000%. Like you looked at, I can't even quote what specific numbers I'm on about. You know, you see the Twitter nerds, but they just have the performance metrics, and we were like down there with Sheffield Wednesday. Like we were creating absolutely nothing. The solid defense that evaporated, that had gone. Vipotnik was basically the sole reason that we were scoring goals. He was just scoring goals from stupid angles, just overperforming his XG a ton. I didn't think we were going to go down because I knew there was too much quality in that squad to be in a relegation battle if there was a competent manager there. And then, you know, Hellberg looked done, didn't it? But then that fell through and he went Borough and went all the way to a playoff final and everyone was raging at that. Matos comes in. I don't think anyone knew what to expect, really. Everyone was, I think, initially really hesitant and critical of the club. Like, oh, he's when he got like a dozen senior games of management at his latest team in Portugal, he's been a youth coach up until then. I was like, I think we all said, all three of us at the time, we got to give him a platform and judge off what you're seeing. Because like Steve Cooper came in with no senior management games and took us to back-to-back playoff campaigns, didn't he? So he came in. I don't know about you. I think it did go a lot better than what I was expecting. I think
Oh yeah.
we knew immediately the style of play was going to be, pressing high and quick off the ball. And I think the Liberty, Swansea.com, whatever, did become a bit of a fortress, which I didn't see coming. For Potnick, we were worried probably that he was going to cool off a bit, and he didn't. He just hammered home goal after goal and just one golden boot, an absolute canter. And I think one or two individuals, you can pretty much pick out every player in that team and their performance levels improved. So it is really encouraging. I just hope now that the summer goes as smooth as it can. Doesn't necessarily mean we need to keep everyone, but I think there were some players last season where maybe we overspent on them. So if we do sell directly off the back of them because we with the shout top 8, you never know.
Didn't catch that last bit then. Sorry, Ben. It went a bit muffled. The last sentence.
I'm saying if we recruit properly, we could be in with a shout top 8.
All right, yeah. Well, that's what Neil
Yeah,
Taylor thinks. I don't know if you've seen him speaking recently.
Yeah, saw that.
So he said,
the rise under Matos was pretty good. Sorry, I mean, I think I was just trying to have a look. When he took over, we were 20th for me and only on 17 points. And then, for him to make us climb up to 11 at one point, it was that Wrexham game on the Friday night. And I think if we had beaten Wrexham, we were like on the same points as them in the playoffs. Like to get to that point, like the fair play. Just turned
that was the turning point, wasn't it? That was the big one where it wasn't just us as well. If we had beaten Wrexham that game, we pulled so many teams into that playoff battle. Yeah. There would have been about 6 going for that last position. In the end, Hull's beaten Wrexham to 6th anyway, because Wrexham just had a bit of a mare the last home run, I think. But yeah, I think
it was Southampton that snuck in, wasn't it? Technically, Hull were already there.
Well, yeah, they dropped off. I mean, Southampton, you can hardly call it snuck in now.
No, but they are the one that dislodged they took the 6th place because Hull never really dropped out of the top 6. I think.
No, Hull took it on the last day, didn't they? Because Derby and Wrexham lost.
Yeah, but if you look at how many days they spent in the playoffs for the season, it was most of the season.
Yeah,
so at the time that we were chasing Southampton, we were also chasing with us. They just kind of kept going.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, the fact we were in a shout with the playoffs was ridiculous. I think when Matos came in, it was literally just if he can get us to like 14th, 15th, survival secured with a couple of games to go, everyone would have taken that in an instant at that point in time.
I agree with what you said earlier. I was never worried about us going down. I think because of the timing of when all of that happened. And as much as it did get quite poor under Sheehan, and we were all a bit like, yeah, this is bad. I think there was also, I think we all knew that there was enough in the squad that it shouldn't be like that. Even early season, it looked like we might be all right, and it looked like we might go on to certain things, but then we just stopped scoring, didn't we, really? And then after we stopped scoring, apparently they stopped being able to defend as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it did get a bit sketchy when we were like level on points for relegation. But what was that? End of October, beginning of November sort of time. So
November he came in, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, but he came in after a bit of a wait, didn't he? Because of the whole Hellberg stuff. I mean, in regards to when we dropped to that position, and obviously the game that we played under Dara, or what's his name?
O'Dea.
The caretaker. O'Dea, yeah. That was tragic at Bristol. Probably the worst game of the season, I think would be fair shout, or one of, if not the worst game of the season. I'm not sure I had an expectation of where we would finish when Matos came in. But I wouldn't say that I'm surprised that we got back to 11th, because the main reason for that is if you go back to last season, where we had a similar sort of season where the manager got sacked and then we had someone come in and and shoot us up the league. That happened far later in the season. And we still managed to recover to the same position ultimately as we did under Matos. And I'm not trying to discredit what Matos has done. Sheehan had that crazy winning run towards the end, didn't he? That kind of got us to where we were going to be. But I think when Luke Williams got sacked, as much as we had a really poor January and up to February when he actually got relieved of his duties, before that month and a half, we were in a really competitive position as well. So it wasn't as if the whole season was poor under Luke Williams. It was only that brief period where it just completely went off the rails. So in terms of the job on the hands of the next person that took over, it wasn't like we were in a relegation. We weren't in the bottom three at that time. We thought we were free falling into it, I think, but we never quite got there. And I think in this scenario with Matos, we were near the bottom three by virtue of the season being quite young, I think, in comparison to last year. So that's why I wasn't as worried. In terms of my thoughts on the season, the season and how it panned out, I think what I said from day one was I wanted to see progress. So I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that we didn't manage to have a season without a managerial change. As much as I agree that it was the right decision, I just didn't want that to happen again. I want to see a season where that doesn't happen. I think that is what we need to really progress and go on to the next step of actually trying to hit the playoff fight. Like, we're never going to really build to a position where that's possible if we keep having mid-season managerial turnovers and then a restructure the next summer based on the new man's style. So we're in that position at the moment, and I hope this one goes better. But I think I said when I was talking on different videos and different channels and whatever I was invited on to early season, I just wanted to not finish worse than what we finished last season as the minimum. So in theory, we got to where the minimum was after a bit of an uncertain season. So I guess I'm happy with that as the minimum. It's a shame that we didn't push on more than the 3 points that we gained, but I guess over a season that is a gain, isn't it? So hopefully that can convert into something better if we can sort of nail the consistency of the manager next year. I'd like to think that returns more of a sort of drive forward. But I think that is what we're missing at the moment, is getting the right man in charge that's going to be there for the full season. And it's been a few years where that hasn't been the case. And I think that is where we're falling short at the moment.
Yeah, it's just we've missed the consistency, haven't we? We went on a run for I don't know how many years where we were always having our manager taken off us, always having them nicked, and we were all complaining. And then we've actually fallen into the classic championship cycle of sacking a manager every season. I have a feeling Matos will be here for a full year next year, though. I think he'd have to do a lot in the first 6 months with us to be getting poached, would be my assumption.
I'm not worried about the poached. It's the sack that worries me. And I don't think Matos is near that at all, right? But like, did any of us think Luke Williams was, and did any of us think Alan Sheehan was? So,
well, Luke Williams, no. I think Sheehan, admittedly, I did even have that,
but
concern.
I think maybe you were worried when he got the job, and I know you were never like, you didn't specifically want him to, but I think when he got given that, it's probably a surprise that it didn't last that long then after the commitment. Do you think?
Yeah, we didn't expect him sacked before Christmas, did we? But I was never really sold on a long-term vision with Sheehan. I did back him after he was, hired, as we should with anyone, don't get me wrong. But this whole thing of every time we try and part away from the style somewhat, it never really goes too well. And I feel like Matos finally is what you've sort of hinted and wanted for a while, is that we're not, the slow Swansea way that used to work when pressing wasn't a thing about 15 years ago in football.
Yeah.
But it is somewhere in between pragmatic and, possession heavy, which I feel like is the adaptation we probably needed. So I think now I can see a long-term future with the style of play. So
Benjamin Bloom hit the nail on the head when I watched his end of season. Like, he ranked the managers. Matos had quite a respectable position in his charts, and he basically said like he didn't know what to think of him, never heard of the guy, and all of this. Same as all of us really. but he came in and said he was going to play a certain way, which was high press and high energy and intensity. And if you watch the team, and he's not a Swansea fan, so this is not bias, he said that's what you see when you watch the team play. So he's come in and he's done what he said he was going to do, and that's a sign of a good manager, because that's, he said early doors, and everyone talks talk when they first come in, and then you judged on what you actually bring to the table, and what he's seen of Matos is what he said he was going to bring. And obviously now, with him having more time to develop that, you'd like to think he can build on it, because he's already shown. He said, I'm going to do this. He's done this. So you'd like to think he can bring players in that will help it, and he can maybe do better going forward. So that's I guess what I've liked to see, or that's what I've liked of him, is the fact that he's brought that difference. It's not all possession for the sake of it, and he's kind of done what he said he was going to do.
It's difficult as well when you come in mid-season, isn't it? So he's done well in terms of he's changed it slowly, and by the sort of the end of the season, you saw it even more what he was trying to do. So I'm a bit more optimistic now that we know what his identity is, and they can have a summer of implementing that and bringing in players that fit the style and maybe fitness levels to be able to do the pressing and everything. So I'm a bit more optimistic, like I said, than I was this time last year. Like you said, I was never, like Ben said, obviously we didn't want him sacked, but I was never truly sold on what Sheehan's philosophy was, really. I still don't really understand what it was. But
and I think with Matt,
your identity now with Matos, and they can build on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think with Matos, you can see the building blocks are there. You can see the holes in the squad for how he wants to play as well. Give him another couple of wingers. Honestly, I think we could be frightening in transition. I really do. So we're already so good at getting the ball back. And what I noticed as the season dragged on, I don't know whether the data backs it up, but at least to the naked eye, it felt like we were able to press for longer as the season went on. And we had the depth in the squad to be changing the midfield and wingers around as well. The only issue with the wingers is that the end product wasn't there. I know picked up as the season went on. Ronald, I just think, hasn't got the end product. I know the off the ball stuff is good trait and all, but I wouldn't be surprised if he moves on this summer if there's any suitors.
Get a couple. Need to make a jingle for next season if them two stay, called Wingers Watch or something, and then we start talking about them. I just press the button and it will come up playing, and then Lee can have his little rant about how Ronald's and Iom are so bad.
I think that's why I needed the time off, just to relax. I feel better about it at the moment. So.
And I think, to be fair to this style, I think it's the most suited he's been to a style of play since he's joined the Swans. You got Congaree coming back, who potentially could get minutes next season. So there are differences for next season already, but then I still think we need two wingers. To be honest, if Ronald left, we signed two wingers. And Noosa hopefully can keep his fitness. Got a decent core then.
I feel like he's just as likely to leave as Ronald is.
Probably because it's just one of those ones where he hasn't settled, but then he has been injured a lot. You could have said the same about Vopotnik last season. He did nearly leave, and then he won the Golden Boot. So, I think Inusa, for me, if you picked out every player in the squad, he's got the lowest floor and highest ceiling for where he could end up, because he could be exactly the same as what he's done there and do nothing. But he was well touted as a good signing when he had joined. Was injured for about a third of the season, and it was his first season in English football, and we've seen how difficult it is with players, even with players who are called world class. Look at Wirtz coming over to Liverpool. It took him a good half a season of constantly playing to get up to speed. For Potnick, it took him a full year before he got going with us. So even players who are now being well recognized as performing well, it's just it's not. I don't even think it's the cultural shift so much, because I do just think it's the pace of the football. Similar thing with Vidal. I really like Vidal now, but he couldn't get into the squad under Sheehan. Even Walter, first few games, he looked well off the pace, and then last couple, there's signs that he, after a full preseason, he could come better. So Noosa, I do have hope still. Genuinely, I do have hope he could put in a good shift for us.
I think Sheehan's mismanagement of Vidal is just highlights that he just wasn't a man for the job based on what we saw of him for the rest of the season. You can make the argument it was too early. You had to bed in this, that, the other, whatever. He played international football for Sweden before he came to us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but not making a bench was ridiculous. And not giving him 10 minutes to try and embed himself into the league. I feel like he started doing it when he was nearly getting sacked, and you immediately saw that he had something to offer. It was just, baffling. Little word on, obviously we ended up having Matos as our manager. We didn't have Hellberg. Anyone got a thought on that? Like, one opinion based on it was a big disappointment when that originally happened. Do we still feel the same way?
Probably burnt toast, to be honest. If you know
Do
what
we
I mean.
know how many points off Middlesbrough we were at the time of the appointment?
Middlesbrough were automatics when they.
I did have
Hellberg
it. Oh, bear with me. I did have it.
I want
Because
to
we
say
finished
Borough.
16 points off Borough.
Yeah, I want to say Borough in second when Hellberg joined. So
I just feel like the points per game is pretty much identical, and you'd have to say Middlesbrough got a better squad, yeah.
Yeah, I think with Hellberg, he could have been a success here, but he wouldn't have had the instant impact that Matos had. The way Hellberg sort of functions is he takes time to implement his principles into his squad.
But he had more of an instant impact at Borough than anything
not the
else.
same,
I
though,
think
is
the
it?
longer he
Like-
was there, the worse it got.
Yeah, it's not the same with that, is it? Because if you're second in the league and they were
set up for
proper,
it.
yeah, they were proper on the top two. It's a very different thing coming into a side that aren't creating chances, are leaky at the back, and saying we're gonna have 70% of the ball.
Yeah,
you know,
we were 20th and Middlesbrough was second when.
what was the points though?
Middlesbrough were on 30 and we were on 17, so what's that, 13 points?
Yeah.
So what, within the time period, he only gained 3 more points with the team that he took over in second place and got to the playoff final with.
Yeah.
I think, okay, if you just put it on paper, he got more points with them. But I think if you put the context in of the two teams, the squads, the league positions, the situations you take over each team, I'd argue the Matos has had a more successful season.
Definitely.
Also, Middlesbrough had 2 chances to get promoted and failed both times.
And didn't score a single goal.
Yeah.
In 270 minutes of football without added time.
So, maybe it's karma or all
did they score one?
No, they didn't.
No, wasn't it 2-1 in the playoff semis? 1 goal in the 3 games then. I swear it's 2-1.
No, they lost 2-0, didn't they?
No, they did. It was 2-1 in one of the games.
2-1.
Yeah. 2-1 in the second leg.
Fair. Lee's gone.
Yeah, it was 2-1.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. They lost the semi and they lost the final, which I understand the reasons they got put in the final, but I feel like that's got to be even harder to sort of digest when you've had 2 chances and failed both times.
Yeah. I disagreed with that whole thing. Like, Lee's dropped out. He'll come back in a second. But
we could talk about this while we're waiting for him.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, obviously there were some sort of set processes, even if this was like the first time this has happened. But I was fuming for Hull. This was before it came out that they cheated financially as well. Don't get me wrong. But if I was Hull, I'd have been fuming going into that Wembley game, because you could say what you want about Southampton and Borough having, that argument and like, they deserved it. We deserved it to go to the final, whatever. Hull rightfully, fairly won their semi-final against Millwall where there was no controversy. And it was like 3 days before the final. They still didn't know who they were playing.
Yeah.
Borough and Southampton both knew they would be playing Hull, so they could train and prepare for Hull.
Yeah.
So I was chuffed Hull won, just because there was an argument as well that Hull won their semi-final, Borough didn't. It could have well just been, all right, there you are, Hull automatically just go up.
I don't know what the right solution is. I kind of agree with everything you've just said, but I also would be really annoyed if Hull just got a bye in the playoff final. Like,
it would have.
I don't know what would have made me feel good.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever like a solution that would have made anybody.
Because that would have tarnished their promotion as well. Like, they would always be the team that didn't win a playoff final.
Yeah, I feel like that was the fairest option though, like Hull to go up, because if Middlesbrough had won that playoff final, that would have just left such a bad taste in everyone's mouth because they lost their semi-final and then went up.
I was stunned they hadn't just pushed it back a week, to be honest. I know it's not
that was weird.
The travel arrangements, all that, but from a sporting integrity perspective, you can't have like a they call it a £200 million game nowadays, where 3 days before we had no idea who was playing in it. It was just crazy.
They need to just use this now, I guess, to make a rule, isn't it? So if there's a rule written into the book, what happens in this circumstance, non-negotiable, none of us can have this conversation. And I don't mean regarding someone's caught spying. I just mean in the event a certain team is disqualified before or after the fixture is played, before the playoff final is played, this is what happens. That just needs to be a thing. And I know based on other examples like leagues and league cups and stuff like that, you get examples of teams fielding ineligible players and again disqualified, and the other team goes through. I think that's where the historic precedent comes from. But I think they just need to use this now to write something into the rules. If one of the semi-finalists is disqualified for whatever reason, this is what happens. And that way, everyone knows to expect that in the event that it happens. You can have the discourse and conversation around what's the fairest way. It doesn't matter what the fairest way is. The rule is the rule. But that, I think, isn't there at the moment, and it should be. They need to add something. And I know the chances are it probably will never happen again. But I think that's the way you protect every legal avenue as well, isn't it? Because I feel like as much as we might not be talking about it, or the media's not talking about it so much anymore, it probably isn't over when it comes to legal stuff behind the scenes with some of the clubs that are involved, I would imagine.
Yeah, one more minor point, which I'm not trying to be victim blaming, but the clubs who did successfully get spied on, what are they doing security-wise? You're talking about multi-million-pound businesses here. And
I reckon it's more clubs than we know. I think they only admitted to the ones they didn't win.
100%.
Well, no, they admitted to the ones they had evidence against them on, like CCTV.
Yeah, and conveniently they
didn't
win any of those games.
Yeah, my point is, though, go to Fairwood. There's one road in, one road out of that place. The only other way you get into that place is if you're walking through a field before climbing over a wall. So you are literally invading private property. Whereas the ones where they, did cheat and did spy, it was stories of like, I forget what lower league club. I think it was, who were the ones they got? Was it Oxford? One of them. It might have been Oxford were training, and they were training like some League Two teams facilities for some reason. It might be like
Oxford are kind of like knockout stuff, have they?
Yeah, but they weren't actually training in Oxford. I think it was one team where they were training. It was Lincoln or something like that. I can't remember specifically what team, but they were training in their facilities, and it was like a park. And it's like, I know you can't expect to get spied on, but if it's me, I wouldn't be training anywhere where the public are just watching you. You know what I mean? Like, it was as simple as the analyst, whatever his name was, who became like famous overnight. He put on a kit of this like League One, League Two, whatever team it was, a football kit of their side, and then just stood there filming on his phone, just like pretending to be a fan. And it's like,
that's great. To be fair, I thought as well he was going to get thrown under the bus with Southampton.
Well, they did initially. I think they did initially throw him under the bus, and then they saw the backlash, and then they'd be like, "Oh no, let's give you a full-time job because he's only an intern or whatever."
Which is the right thing, even if it's come from them trying to do the wrong thing. But I'm glad that, because he would never get a job in football ever again.
No, I can't believe he's still in. Not the analyst, sorry, Eckert, the manager. I can't believe he is still in a job currently.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the players had a meeting and said to keep him, didn't they?
That's insane, though, to me. Like this whole thing of, oh, it's something we would normally do on the continent, like. And the thing is, the players have probably said keep him because everyone knew about it. There was text messages as far back as December, like them making like gifs and things in the chat of like the analyst and Cameo and all that. Not Cameo, sorry, Camouflage. Like they are all as bad as each other. Like Harwood Bellis in the semi-final, he literally got caught.
Brilliant, yeah.
Got caught having a go at Luke Ayling for stuttering because he's got like a speech impediment. And then when they had their supposed last-minute winner, which turned out to be null and void, he did the whole like that celebration directly in front of their players on the way past. Like, what an absolute idiot, honestly. Like, and I'm
surprised he had been cited for that.
It was just they got kicked out. They just
I was so tough.
I'm surprised he had been sacked as well. I'm also surprised he hasn't been banned by the FA, or is that still something that could come?
I don't know. Apparently, there's more to it than what we've seen. Like the people in the know seem to suggest that they've admitted to the 3 because that's the ones they had evidence against, and they've got off lucky. To be honest, that is the only punishment they'll supposedly have because they've all, they were so spaced out as well. It was like December, March, or December, January, and then like the playoffs when they've been doing that regularly. Like they suddenly just went on a massive unbeaten run.
Yeah.
It's fairly obvious there's more to it than just 3 fixtures.
Yeah,
and I hope.
Yeah,
I know it's like speculating, but it's definitely like you said. I remember they said one was December and then not until March. It was like, and the 3 that they admitted to, like we said, were games that they lost. There's no way they didn't do it in between those games as well.
Yeah, they are the only 3 accusations they had with evidence. They'll see.
Yeah.
When Borough were forming their case, they contacted everyone in the league, and everyone had a little review of what they had. And then those 3 are the ones where there was footage or some sort of witness accounts of this guy being there on his phone.
Yeah. Again, this is all like, obviously we're guessing.
It was winding me up so much, though. I know we missed it all entirely, so it's not fresh anymore. But like at the time, you had all of the fans who hadn't read up on it, all the Southampton fans, especially, all going, "Oh, Leeds only had a 200k fine. They did a derby." It's because the rule didn't exist when Leeds did it. There was nothing in the rule book saying you couldn't do it, so they just had a 200k fine because it was like some minor misdemeanor or whatever.
And that fine is the reason that you were now getting penalised. So
yeah, there is a literal rule now saying you cannot go to another team's training facility and spy on them. Yeah. Anyway,
there's a lot of mixed opinion on it. A lot of people saying like, "Well, I don't see the issue. It's just, and the punishment don't fit the crime and all the rest of it." But like, a rule is a rule. If you don't manage the rule with a certain outcome, then what's the point of having it in the first place, isn't it? So, but anyway, it's all done now. That's all over. I'm sure there'll be more to it at some point. Maybe we'll talk about it if that happens. Let's get back on track with Swans. I'll run through some of the news first before we look at the table. So first of all, we've got the retained list. I'm not going to read all of it out. However, the ones that I want to highlight are over the course of last season, the club already took options to extend Zan for Potnick. I think that was not an option to extend, but he signed a new deal, didn't he? Lawrence Vigoro, new deal as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Josh Tyman, Jay Felton, Andy Fisher. Was he a new deal or was he an extension?
I want to say it was a new deal, only short
Must have
term.
been. I think these must be all new deals. The way they've literally worded this sentence. The club has already taken up the option to extend the contracts of. I guess that is off a new deal, but I read it as like, when they get the +1 trigger. And Paul Farman as well, who's the goalkeeper, who I don't think he's made an appearance, has he?
Had once in the cup,
or one appearance he's made, but he's stayed as well. So they've already been extended. Amir Govia's contract has been extended until December 2026. So that's 6 months.
I thought he was gone.
Yeah, I thought he was going to. But that's in here. So I'm assuming they've given him a 6-month extension. Do you think it's a case of like prove your fitness?
Prove your fitness, one more full pre-season. Because he has had minutes in the championship
before.
Because
a 6-month extension to be up till December is a bit weird, isn't it? So they must still have some sort of hope that he can get to that potential, but he perhaps needs to show that he can actually stay fit. I feel like that's what has ruined him a little bit.
Yeah.
The omissions from the list, or the main ones at least, Josh Thomas, who was the striker that a couple of pre-seasons ago scored a couple of goals. We got a little bit excited about perhaps one for the future. Had a couple of loan spells that didn't really amount to anything. I'm sure he came on in the league last season, like early doors.
He did
anything.
First day of the season against Borough.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, he's been released. And the other one, who there's no word on yet, Joel Ward, I believe, still in some sort of negotiation around, I would imagine, another short-term deal. From what I saw, they were potentially looking at some sort of back of house role alongside playing role. I don't know what you two think of that one, because I've seen a lot of discourse around people saying they wish that we weren't bothering and we didn't put the resources into that, with the likes of Lissa having a good season, Sam Parker playing well towards the end of the season. And if you sign in the Joel Ward, then you're just going to limit their opportunities, and they're the ones that are more lucrative really in the future if we can break them into the first team and get them playing regular.
It is a strange one. I have to think it's more to do with the lack of senior experience in the squad more than anything, because if you look just at that right back position, you've got Keane Park already there. Parker had that opportunity in the last 5 games or so and did really, really well. I thought Lissa coming back as well, who can play anywhere across the back line. And we'll get into it a bit later, but we have just signed a centre back for cover as well. So from a playing perspective, it is strange that we'd be looking to keep Ward. So maybe there's more to it from a coaching side of it.
Yeah.
Some of the names that have been kept on that perhaps might see a little bit more about their uncertain futures in the summer. Florian Bianchini, who's obviously returned from his loan at Portsmouth. Ollie Cooper, who came back in January from Wigan and played once from the bench. There's one more on here. Ricardo Santos, who don't really know what the deal is there at the moment, but I would imagine he'd be looking to leave, or we'd be looking to ship him out. But he's been retained as of now. All of the strong youth potential that we are aware of have as well. And yeah, the loan signings, of course, have been released. So Yalkuye, not released, sent back to the parent club. Samuel Smith and Nunes. I mentioned Joe Ward already, but the other one that they're in discussions with, who's currently not on the list, is Kit Margison, who I'm a little bit surprised considering his father's no longer with us.
He is still alive, just to clarify.
Maybe not the best wording for me. I meant he's left the Swans, for anyone that was unaware. Thanks for that, Ben.
But yeah, what was I going to say? I think Bianchini, Cooper, which is a case of last season. Again, probably if we can sell them, we can. I doubt Bianchini will ship his salary, to be honest. It'll probably be another loan.
And we're not going to recoup the fee either.
No, 2 million. You'd be lucky to get $500,000 now, I think. I was going to say Santos. We did try selling him. He had a medical at Reading for a fee of low 6-figure fee, and he failed that, didn't he? So he wouldn't be here now if he could keep fitness.
So I mentioned Paul Farman. He did sign a new contract last month. It was through to the end of June 27. So I guess you don't find many keepers that are happy to be third choice. So I think when they're there, you give them 1-year extensions every year until either a better option comes or they get fed up, I guess. He's got certain decent criteria where if he needs to stand into a certain game or two, he probably do an okay job. So that's kind of all you need from that. And I guess they're there for a lot more of the training purposes as well and the stuff behind the scenes as a senior keeper. Ben already alluded to it. Swansea have made or will be making their first summer signing when the transfer window opens on July the 1st. Joining Bobby Wales in Swansea is Stephen Welsh, also coming from Scotland, coming from Celtic on a free transfer on a 2-year deal, which I'm surprised is not within what we've been doing recently. He's got an additional 12-month option with that deal, which I think is in the club's hands to trigger. I guess it's a low risk one, isn't it? Apparently he played quite well last season in the Scottish Premier League. He was on loan at Motherwell. 26-year-old centre back. Do you know much about him?
Only what I've read. I think the way we recruit for cover is going to be different to the way we recruit for first team. First team, everyone we pay money for seems to be 24 and under, 5-year deals, 4-year deals. All I've read is that Motherwell are a possession-based side. He's 26, comfortable in possession, not particularly ruthless at the back in terms of 1v1 duels or anything, but for cover, it's the correct age.
Is he cover?
He's got to be cover. He's
I
right-footed.
mean, he'd be third choice centre back, you'd imagine. I'd like to hope that he can.
He's got to be cover, yeah. I mean,
that is cover though, isn't it? Third choice. KC.
No, yeah. Well, you're going to start as third choice, but I'd like to hope that he can threaten the other two. I feel like Keelan Casey could have threatened the other two.
Cabango's
it was never going to happen.
Cabango's captain, so he's going to play every
the
game.
captain thing is obviously going to protect Cabango, but I want competition for Burgess. Like, not going to lie,
he'll be there for rotation if it's a case of he picks up a little knock or something, but he's not going to drop someone with Premier League experience left-footed centre back for.
He's played for Celtic in the Champions League. He's not like a bad player, is he?
Yeah, but he couldn't. We're not speaking about him as if he was playing full seasons for Celtic regularly. He got loaned to Motherwell last season. You're not going to put a
first team appearances though.
You're not going to stick a right-footed centre back in, a left centre back in a Burgess out of choice. For me, it might be a case of rotation.
No, maybe not. But
he's not going to dislodge him from the team. I'd be surprised.
26 is no old either, though, is it? He can be going into the prime of his career.
Yeah, I don't think the signing's been made, like said, I don't think it's been made with a view of like him starting regularly or anything like that. I think it's maybe it's just an improvement on like Santos, like there's just a bit more.
It means we don't have to loan a third choice.
Yeah, because for me, we've got our 4 centre backs now. For me, because Lissa is quite two-footed and can play across the back line. So for me, Lissa can be covered to Burgess. Welsh will be covered to Cabango, unless they're going to go right. We need to replace Burgess, because there is, you will have some people saying we need to improve that. And I do see that point, because as much good as they are for the Championship, Burgess, Cabango, I do think each of them would be better suited to have somebody who's a bit more mobile next to them.
I think individually they're good players, aren't they? But I don't think when they're playing together, they're a weakness. Not all the time, but it can be exploited.
Yeah, this is the issue. I think we talked about it last season. I think they're probably both good players, but I don't think they can play together.
And it's Burgess is the thing is, you got Cabango's captain. Unless you're taking the captaincy off him, I can't see how he won't play every game. And then Burgess, the money he's on and the age he is, like that, the leadership aspect of it will come into play with a young squad. I'd be surprised if we go out and choose to spend, because get left-footed centre back who's better than Burgess. You can say what you want about Burgess. Get someone better than Burgess and left-footed. You're looking minimum probably 5 million, 4 million, 5 million, unless you get it absolutely perfect and take a risk and it pays off. So I'd be surprised if that's when we choose to spend money. Whereas I think we're more likely to, maybe if Potnik goes, we splash big on another striker to go with Vida, spend on a couple of wingers, spend on somebody else in midfield, because we will have people depart in there as well.
Realistically, just playing devil's advocate a little bit, just thinking, if it did happen and Matos would take the captaincy off Cabango, who would get it?
Burgess,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Guru, probably. It's just either you give it to Fulton, and then it's like, okay, it's not a big deal.
He's not the on the pitch captain; it's someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Or you give it to the Guru, and it's.
Or you give it to someone like Galbraith and say, sign a new contract and make you captain. Yeah. I don't think that would happen, but it's happened to other clubs in the past.
Timon?
Yeah, maybe. He probably is coming in with a shout, mind. Although I do get the impression with Timon that he doesn't like being in the limelight.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes taking penalties and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
I've never seen someone less happy to win an EFL award.
I know.
So I'm not sure he would be the right personality for it, which isn't a criticism of it.
No, I think you're right.
It's not right for.
I think he just goes about his business. He's not loud. He's not vocal. He just
I feel like I know Stamin's only a year in, but
he's young.
He's a sort of player, or like I would say Franco, but I don't like his theatrics, and I wouldn't want.
No, you can't give it Franco.
He's a bit more style, but
they probably would give it Fulton, good servant, and it's a get out of jail free card. But and either way, Cabango's not getting stripped from him. He has.
There's no real standout candidates really, apart from you said you'd either Cabango or Burgess, but this is the debate we're having, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was such a difficult thing for Cabango as well, because Grimes just dropped and left out of nowhere. Yeah. Like, it felt like a hot potato, that captain's armband, probably. Like, who's going to be the person to step up and sort of steady the ship? And it did take some getting used to, but I feel like he's done it now. And he's done well at it, hasn't he? So.
Yeah. Matt Grimes, Premier League player now.
Yeah, congrats, Matty boy.
That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I am happy for him, genuinely.
Yeah, same. I hope that he has a decent time. Cameron Congreve has had his first cap for Wales. So do you think that is enough that we should be like, right, he needs to be part of the first team now? I personally think so. I think he needs to be embedded now. I'm not saying he's starting every week, but he's got to be in the squad. Surely,
You either
if he's gone on loan to Scotland after being on loan the year before at Bromley and really doing well, he's done well in Scotland enough for Wales to pick him. I know it was only friendlies, but he got, he's put his hands up and he's got into the Welsh squad and got it onto the pitch. I think that should be enough for him to be, a winger that comes off the bench for us and tries to stake a claim in the team now. He's done it before when he was younger and it didn't, he didn't quite work out and he had some tough games for us. So surely now he's in the best place he's ever been to try and get on that pitch for us.
Yeah, you either integrate him or you sell him, don't you? Because it'd be pointless extending his contract and loaning him out again. And I know, like you say, it was a weakened Welsh side because of a couple of injuries and they were friendlies. But he came, he played against Ghana, he did quite well. The bits I watched, he was one of the ones to come out with it with credit. And also, he is competing for that right wing position, which is the weakest position in the squad.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't even care if he doesn't set the world alight in pre-season. Keep him around. He offers something different, left-footed winger.
And he can play through the middle as well.
Yeah, so no, he's got a feature for me. And just while we're on the topic of wingers again, Woodward, I know all we saw then was 15 minutes, but you could see when he came on against Charlton, the energy was there, the wanting to do well was there, and he got the assist. I know it's only.
Do you think he's probably like he will go on loan and Congreve will stay around?
Yeah,
probably. But I'm just saying it's promising because he did only simple things. He did. It was very simple. He just got beyond his man.
Sometimes though, isn't it?
Yeah, got beyond his man.
Ronald can't do the simple things most of the time. So
got beyond his man. Simple ball on the floor towards the back post. That's all he needed to do. That's all our wingers have needed to do half the time.
Don't tell Ronald getting beyond your man is a simple thing.
I think you're right about Congreve now, especially if he's going to play on the wing with our current winger situation. If he's not going to play now and get minutes, then it's time for him to move on. So
his stock's quite high, mind. A lot of teams in Scotland are courting him. People are taking notice. So I feel like if people are taking notice, then why would we not? We've made mistakes in the past where we haven't taken advantage of a situation like this. So
I feel like he's done enough. Like you said, he's gone on loan now and proved himself twice on loan, where he's done well enough to put his hand up. And then, like you said, if they say, look, you're not part of the plans, then I would be asking for a move if I was him. But hopefully, he's in with a shout, because I would put him ahead of Ronald at the minute. And then if we sign another winger, then it could be him and a new winger that compete on that right side. So,
and it's like you just alluded to there, Luke. We're not looking for him to play 40 games, are we? But if he can start 10, come off the bench in 20 odd, and then rack up, I don't know, just pluck out a number, 8 goals and assists combined, that sort of thing. Just support, first season and maybe the season after. Then after he's got used to that level, then he could be staking a claim more. Because the thing is with like wingers, right? You can coach and teach people so much. You can't teach them to be left-footed. I know it sounds stupid what I've just said, but a left-footed winger, if they get the drop of the shoulder, I don't know what it is, defenders just can't close down that yard of space. That's why you get some right-footed, right-sided left wingers. Can't get my words right. Right-sided left-footed wingers, inverted wingers, who they are frightening, proper frightening, and
like a Robin,
like a Bale. I'm not saying Congreve's going to get anyone. Yeah. And Congreve's not going to get to that level, I'm not saying, but even when he broke through under Russell Martin, when he was like 17, 18, he was still beating his man. He can still do that now, but, he's probably got the end product he didn't have before now, developing as well. So, I'm saying this, he could even stake a claim and he could start 30-odd games. We really don't know. It depends what we do in the market. Nobody's got that right wing place secure for me. Ronald's, like, they're not thick. They're going to look at that and go, right, we need to target that position this summer.
Yeah.
I saw Ronald been linked with some Premier League team again. His agent must be. It was something last summer, wasn't it, as well?
10 million.
Coventry was one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Coventry was one of them. Crazy. I feel like he was like Everton or something as well. But yeah.
At least if you're going to put these rumors out, at least make them believable.
I know. It's crazy.
Like, I don't know. A La Liga side, something like that. No Premier League side.
I had Coventry fans asking me about Ronald. I was like, I don't really think this is true, mate. I was like, I don't understand. All of your team is better than him. What you have him if you want. Like
let's be
anyway.
honest, 1 million gets him. not
If
10.
we'll swap him for like Rodoni or something if they fancy, if they really want him.
Yeah.
Or Haji Wright, we'll have him, and then you have Ronald. Some good news to end on then before we look at the table. Melker Vidal will be fit for the start of pre-season after he has an ankle injury in the last game of the season against Charlton. And also Sam Parker will also be fit for pre-season after his hamstring injury was not as serious as had first been thought. However, hamstrings what he suffered with in the past,
Yeah.
For Parker. He's had some big injuries, hasn't he? They've been hamstring. Yeah. It's a bit of a worry that as much as this isn't as bad as first thought, like he's still injured it again.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that he manages to find a way to, I don't know, just keep fit with his hamstring, because that could really, really damage his career, I think, if that keeps going the way that it's going.
Yeah, because what he's got, which is excellent, is his pace is one of his biggest assets, isn't it? So when that goes, I'm not saying he isn't competent on the ball, because he is, but he's not exactly physically prolific outside of his pace, is he? He's not particularly tall. He doesn't appear to be particularly strong.
He's fast and he's got hell of a delivery.
Yeah, and he is good in possession. So I'm not saying if his pace starts to go and he becomes injury prone, I'm not saying he still wouldn't have a career in the EFL, but someone with his profile, if they stay fit, all of a sudden you've got a player who needs to be looking up rather than down. And if he just keeps picking up hamstring injuries, it will derail him slightly, won't it?
All right, then. So how are we going to work this? We're going to reveal from bottom up to see how terrible we did. So we're going to, anyone listening on audio-only platforms, we have got our predictions from pre-season in front of us from the table, and we've got the real table, and we're going to make comparisons. So anyone watching on YouTube or whatever can see everyone's individual prediction. I think when I'm reading it out, unless there's any proper howlers, I'm only going to read out the combined table in full. And one or two howlers in our individual predictions might get a mention as well. But I won't go through all of the tables because we'll be here all night. Already. Yeah?
Yeah, there's a few. I think we should shout out John for his table again for an amazing prediction of his bottom table prediction.
We haven't done much better.
He's the only player. Yeah, so John is not here. He's still hiding after his infamous.
He might have another one.
Was it 2021? I want to say away at Huddersfield when
that long ago, surely.
The last, genuine under Steve Cooper, Jordan Morris. This is now.
Yeah, it was
right.
It was that game,
and he was never more confident. Right? It was. To be fair, at the time we were pushing on second place in the league. Right? We just signed Morris. He was working his way. He was getting up to speed. I think he started his first game. Going away to Huddersfield, who were I think they were struggling. I think they were near the bottom. And he was I'd never been more confident of Swans win 4-0. We lost 4-1 and Jordan Morris never played for us again. It couldn't have gone worse. And he hasn't been seen on the podcast since. Still looking for him. But he gave us his predictions to use.
Tell this prediction.
Yeah, he's given us his prediction. He's slowly putting his name back out there. He can't quite come back yet. But well, maybe this will delay that again. But he's the only one of us who put not Sheffield Wednesday bottom of the league, and he actually went for Hull. So he's probably hiding a little bit from that one. Not saying that we all didn't have a howler with Hull, but that's the worst. It's got to be the worst, I think.
But yeah, we all the rest of us put Sheffield Wednesday. It averaged out to Sheffield Wednesday. It was Sheffield Wednesday, and the same can then.
Yeah, to the bottom three. See what the bottom three were.
Yeah, so we also had Oxford in 23rd, and if it will let me drag it up, they finished 22nd, which isn't bad.
So we had 2 out of 3 as a combined unit of our relegation. I think we can be let off with Leicester. Yeah, I think everyone has been. No one expected that, so I think we can let ourselves off.
We had a reverse kind of shocker because Hull, nobody expected Leicester to go down, and then we had Hull to go down, and they went up. So it was a bit of a on his head.
I
I'd
want to
say-
take a bit of credit for I'm the only one of all of us that didn't put Leicester in the playoffs.
I was going to say fair play to Luke, because even though 7th is a lot higher, it's better than John had him in 2nd, Lee had him in 3rd, I had him in 4th. So yeah,
You know
7th
what?
is less embarrassing.
But I just going on the whole thing though, because obviously I think that's the glaring one, because we've all got them in the bottom 3.
Mhm.
Apart from Luke, who had them just a little bit higher, but our combined was Hull in the bottom 3. But
Yeah, Hull fans, I'm the only one year that said you wouldn't go down. I
just
didn't
about.
think you'd go up, but I said you wouldn't go down.
But it was mad because they only survived on goal difference, didn't they, on the last game of the season last year? And then I think at the time when we did these predictions, they were supposedly going to have all these like transfer embargoes. So
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah, I
of
was
people them to go down, and then all of a sudden they signed McBurney, and then they flew up. Then
going to say, yeah, we did the predictions, I think, before the season started. And then in the 3 weeks after, they signed about 6 different, probably.
yeah,
I wouldn't have called them top 6 players, to be fair. I think on paper, they were more like mid-table championship players,
Top
but still
6
they weren't.
players from like 4th seasons ago.
Yeah, they weren't relegation candidate players, were they? I think by the time the window had closed, you would have gone, all right, Hull, maybe you expect them all to be in like that 16th, 17th
yeah,
sort of region. I wouldn't have had them going down at that point. I still wouldn't have had them 6th, though, to be fair.
So out of all of our bottom 3 predictions, I'm the only one that did a bit different bottom 3. And I had Preston and Charlton in my bottom 3. So
Yeah.
where did they end up finishing?
Well, we'll do the next 3 teams next and see if we've got any of those. So it was West Brom,
Charlton,
Blackburn, and Charlton. So
I forgot about
we
that.
had Blackburn, Preston, Charlton in our average one, to be fair. So we've actually got 2 of them. Not bad. 2 of them in that sort of region.
Yeah.
I feel like they're all similar when I had Blackburn, Charlton, Preston.
I think Preston might be the one above or a couple above.
Yeah.
Well,
John
no,
at
they might be a bit
Derby.
higher, actually. They fell out of playoffs, didn't they? They were doing well early season, and then they kind of fell off a cliff.
Yeah. John
Free
at
fell.
Derby down in 19th, which obviously turned out to be quite far off as well.
So John's got a howler on Hull and Derby at the moment. And we've all just got Hull, yeah.
Yeah. If we do the next 3 then. So it's Watford, Stoke,
We had
Portsmouth,
Stoke spot on. And Portsmouth.
and Portsmouth.
As a
spot on.
combined unit, that is.
And
John
then-
actually put Portsmouth in the right place, and so did I, actually.
Yeah, I had them a bit
Ben
higher.
had Stoke.
I had Stoke spot on, yeah.
Yeah.
I did also have Wrexham in 18th. That was more of a political shout more than anything to stir up some tension. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd do as well as they did. I think 18th was always selling them a bit short, to be honest. But yeah. It was more a case I did one of our Swans below Wrexham as well. Watford 16th is an interesting one because they were genuinely looked solid for top 6 at one point, and then their entire season derailed. The same with Stoke as well.
They're just a circus, aren't they?
They are always a circus.
I had Watford in 17th there. That's decent. And
Yeah.
you had them in just a bit higher, 15th. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying it's surprising, but then looking at our table, it's not really what we expected.
I mean, it was surprising from
how they started.
Yeah, about January time.
It's because they got some quality players, didn't they? They had that Aaron Kunda who, when he wasn't off the rails, was a good player. And losers, like a lot of people think he's the best player in the league. So,
yeah, they shouldn't have ended that low, I think.
There's a lot of teams, going back to what we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of teams here that are going to be better than
push on. We just need to be one of them.
Yeah, we've got to be this year.
All right. Next 3. So it was QPR, Preston, Sheffield United. So Preston, we were well off.
We had Sheffield United a lot lower than I thought that we would.
We had them 4th.
We had 4th.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong way around.
Yeah.
That's the real table.
That's the real table.
They finished a lot lower than I thought they would.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
That's another one that's going to improve, surely.
QPR is quite accurate for us, though.
Yeah, 16th, and they were.
If you look
15th.
at all our tables as well, it's the right ballpark for them. And Preston a bit higher than what I had them. When did we have Preston combined? Lower.
20th, yeah.
Fair enough. I guess Sheffield United has to go down as a bit of a howler. I think, again, the same as Leicester, everyone is probably in that boat.
Yeah.
I think Lee was the only one who you could say got Preston close-ish. Apart from that,
Yeah.
did anyone get Sheffield United close? Third,
No, I think we all
fourth,
had them in
fifth,
playoffs.
Why do we?
sixth was the lowest. So yeah, it's hard to call that poor form, even to be honest, because
And they could have been worse. They recovered quite well.
yeah, how they were bottom half, I don't know.
I was talking earlier. You know when we said like when Matos took over, we were 20. At that point, they were in the relegation zone.
Yeah. All
So
right.
Norwich.
Yeah.
Now, there was a few teams who came good second half of the year. So then we got Bristol City spot on.
Oh, look at
And
us and the Swans. Oh.
I know we were one off. Did any of us have 11th? No, none of us actually went 11th.
I had
John had 9th. Lee had 12th. Luke had 10th. I had
I
13th.
feel like we've been robbed a bit, Ben. Did you have 10th as well?
No, I had 13th.
Oh.
I had
I
That's
lower.
not 10th.
I had
Okay,
12.
I feel like I've been robbed a bit because we did improve on last year by 3 points,
Mm.
but we didn't improve a position. Whereas if it was last year, we would have.
Oh,
We did really well
I
with
am
those
clutching, but that's what we got to do in these things.
Birmingham, we were one off. We had them 9th. Swans, we were one off. We had them 10th. And Bristol City, we had them spot on. So that was a very
Middlesbrough.
successful 3, actually. Should we take it one at a time now? Get into the end of the table. So
Middlesbrough
Norwich,
Howler or it's Middlesbrough Howler?
Middlesbrough.
Yeah, we had them in 11th.
Oh, I hadn't mentioned them yet because they hadn't popped up on you. But yeah, Middlesbrough is a howler. They were.
Didn't think of that.
I mean, it's not as much of a howler as some of them. Like, it depends what you mean by howler. Because Preston, we had them 6 positions off. Borough, we had them 7.
You did that last time, didn't you? The average position difference, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, quickest do that formula, but
yeah, this is LibreOffice now, so I got no chance trying to do that on the fly. But Norwich 9th is actual. We had them 6th, so that's okay. I think
considering how bad their season started, we actually it was all right in the end.
God,
Norwich could have been anything.
My God.
Like Norwich are one of those ones. They spent so much money. They spent about 20 odd million, 30 million in the summer, so they could have got like top 2, and it wouldn't have been a complete shock.
Just ignore my prediction. I had them 4th.
I had them 5th. I think
I had them
John.
But to be fair, we spoke about how this
7th.
season some teams have just got in there, like teams you don't expect have got in there. I just rolled the dice with Norwich, and it wasn't them.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, there was a chance for anyone. Like you said, like Borough, we had them as like.
I've just seen who I've got in the playoffs that I'm. That's a good prediction.
Yeah, so Derby was actual in 8th. We had Derby in 15th, so that's poor. I would like to point out I had them 10th. So I think I backed Derby, which is
so if it wasn't for you, we would have put Derby like even lower.
Yeah.
I had them in 14th. What did they finish 8th?
14th, 15th, and 19th, the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of John Eustace, to be fair. And he turned us down a couple of times, which is annoying.
That's probably why I put him down there.
Yeah.
Not that he suits us perfectly at all, my style of play wise.
Yeah, but back then we all thought he was going to play passing football, but he just changes, doesn't he, with what he's got?
He left Blackburn at the time, didn't he? Like the end of last year into like.
Yeah, but looking at how both teams have changed since then, that's definitely the right decision. I think Blackburn's ownership is just shocking. And I think maybe as much as the league position looked all right for him when he left them, the behind the scenes is probably not a good environment. He's gone to Derby and he's progressed, isn't he? Whereas Blackburn's regressed.
He was a Derby fan as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So that was part of it. 7th then, it was Wrexham. We had Wrexham 13th. I mean, that's largely because of my prediction, isn't it? If we're being honest, I think we would have got that one all right if I wasn't.
Well, I had them 11th. We had them 8th. John had them in 15th as well, mind.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah, we haven't. Lee saved them, if anything. I don't know how they've ended up 7th. Oh, that's the real table, isn't it? Where did we have them?
It was just
13th.
They were a hard one to call, mind. Again, because like they'd had so many promotions in a row.
Yeah.
They were one of the harder ones to call. I think
mine was like an opposite of what Ben did. I was concerned they might do it, so I put them higher.
I missed one there. Birmingham, yeah. Birmingham finished 10th and we had them 9th. Considering bookies had them like 3rd, I think we've done a good job there.
Yeah. How's that come about then? I had them 8th. You had them 9th. Lee had them 10th.
We should have put the bookies table on this chart. One of them like an average.
Yeah. And that wasn't even one person skewing them, to be fair. We had 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th.
Yeah.
And average was 10th. So yeah, that was a good one for us, actually. Because lots of people calling them for playoffs and automatics, like you say. 6th then was Hull. We've discussed this already. That's the worst one with Leicester, you'd have to say.
But I
Again,
think, again, a lot of people are going to have that.
yeah, and
Yeah,
also,
No one expected
Hull.
Hull.
The other way around, when they like Hull and Leicester, you flip them.
yeah, and also like when we predicted it, no one was putting Hull 6th then.
No.
You might have had a few people had them like 10th to 12th sort of range after McBurney and everyone came in, but
Yeah.
no one had them 6th. All right, next. I feel like this should be pretty much just standing up. Borough, okay, that's a bad
We had
one.
them bad as well, really.
So I had them 11th, Luke had them 15th, Lee had them 9th, 10th. Yeah, I mean, none of us even considered they could be up there. So, yeah.
I
fair
just
enough.
didn't think Rob, what's his name?
Edwards.
Edwards was. I didn't rate
Same.
him.
I
And
didn't rate them
For him
either.
to then get poached as well, I'm just shocked. To be honest,
Again, it's like, again, I know we said it a million times, but it was just
it
like,
didn't even look good in the first game of the season when we played them.
I know, but that's just like the epitome of the season, isn't it?
The
Like,
momentum just started there.
like yeah, the Boroughs, the Boroughs, the Millwalls, the Norwich. We just thought like it could have been any one of those teams that snuck in. Hull, anyone.
Yeah.
Millwall were up there.
4th, Southampton. Yeah, I
Oh.
think we've.
John had that spot on.
Yeah, we had them 2nd, so a little bit off in terms of like. This is the thing with
Because
these
3 of us
predictions.
had them in second. Three of us had Ipswich, Southampton as the top 2.
Yeah, this is the thing with these predictions, though, right? It doesn't look that bad on the face of it, 2nd to 4th, but there's an argument that 2nd to 4th in what the usual points gap is. That's more of a discrepancy than what like 10th to 15th would be,
Yeah.
in a usual championship season. So it looks all right on paper, but equally, we had them down in our heads, didn't we, as like getting a 90-odd point season and coasting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had to
top
pick
2.
one of the 3 to miss out of the 3 that went down. Is what we were thinking, really.
Then
I say
next
we
one.
all, apart from John, we all said Leicester would miss out though. Like we didn't have Leicester as if we're
Yeah, I'm not.
No, you
I
had
don't
Leicester third. Oh, on the top 2, you mean?
think,
Yeah, I mean we both said like they would be the ones that miss out, but not by that much.
Yeah, I'm not patting myself on the back for that still. I don't think
No,
we can
no.
finish 23rd. And then obviously Millwall 3rd is, I mean, to be fair, 8th ain't that bad.
No,
I would
it
say.
isn't. I had them in the playoffs, so I'm happy with that.
I had them 7th.
I called Millwall playoffs.
Lee had 13th, John had 8th. Yeah, I'd say no one thought they were going to get 3rd, did they? But I said 8th or 7th, I said, sorry. But they always normally just about miss out on playoffs. And then the funny thing is, they did all that work, nearly got automatically promoted, and then they didn't even do anything against
I feel
Hull
like they just
the
missed out
semis.
last year, and I think that's why I went with them, really, to just make it.
They no-showed against Hull, didn't they? It was weird.
Yeah. Then Ipswich 2nd, we had them 1st. I think all 4 of us put Ipswich as title winners. I think everyone did going into the season. Most
think
people put
They
Ipswich.
probably should have won the league. They just got off to a bad start, ultimately.
Yeah.
I think when they got going,
Yeah.
that team, if the season started then, they would have won the league. But I think for whatever reason, on this occasion, I guess like last time they came into the league, they didn't get relegated today. They came up and they continued their momentum.
Yeah.
So after having a season of Premier League and losing a lot, it just took them a little bit of adjusting to get back to.
Southampton as well, though. Like we had Southampton 2nd. Like they were in the relegation zone for a while until they sacked the manager, and then they were again legally or illegally went on a massive run. But they would have been up there form-wise, Ipswich and Southampton, with the way they pushed through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we all know who won.
Yeah, last but not least, Coventry. Everyone else had them 5th. I had them 3rd. I think I had them 2nd last year. It was when, not if, with Coventry. I just didn't think they were going to ramp home to the title this year like they did. But fair play. I think they've actually got a chance of competing next season as well. Whether they stay up's another thing. But
yeah.
Well, we'll see. So let us know in the comments how you think we've done with our predictions. It's not awful, is it?
It's not as bad as what I thought, because I think when we've actually spelled it out, Hull and Leicester are going to be really common ones. And outside of that, we only really had Borough as, like, I'd say one where you could argue we shouldn't have been as off as we were.
if you get some spare time, you need to see one. In terms of like,
yeah, I'll try.
If you can,
with our own ones.
Yeah.
I think it'll be.
Don't do it right now. Don't do it right now. But like,
yeah,
if you can, if you've got 2
minutes
minutes at some point. But yeah, fair enough. I think decent. Have you got the other ones?
Yeah.
We finished the predictions off together. The season of our predictions with the scores. Lee, you might want to close your eyes.
Yeah, this is not going to be good.
I don't actually know what you two ended up on, but
yeah, I mean, I think we knew for a while Luke was going to win. I need
have
to
you filled them all in now?
I got this last one to put in, so just to rub salt in the wounds. The score actually was 3-1, which Luke somehow predicted. To the Swans against Charlton. Feels like a million years ago now, that game. But yeah, final standings, Luke is absolutely
70 points. Look at that.
It's not
70
even
points.
Close. Not even close.
It's embarrassing, lads. That is embarrassing. Sort yourselves out for next season.
Got ahead early doors, and we just never really caught up. Lee, I think, did look goners, to be fair, and did pull it back into a bit of a fight. It ended up being a 10-point gap. I finished 51. Lee finished 41. I want to say it got to within about 3 or 4 points at one point, Lee.
Yeah, I think
near the end, and then
bottled there. What did you say for Charlton? 4-1.
4-2. He said, yeah.
Lee went to the party.
Just went for a mental one in the last game of the season. Of course, Luke had a lucky, just like Walter. Just
is it lucky if it keeps happening?
And like the Wrexham keeper chucked it in the net and last minute, and there was a few.
Look, if I beat you by 2 points,
there was a few in
30
there.
points.
There's a few in there.
30 points. That's like you would have needed 6 spot-on score lines.
Yeah, but like one goal like that, like swings it massively, doesn't it?
No. I think next season I've got a couple ideas for how we can make it a bit more interesting. I want to bring back the 1-alls. I think.
Yeah, it's fine. We didn't put it in anyway.
Yeah, I think taking away the 1-alls does hamper us. I think, to be fair, we all would have beaten 1-all. There weren't many 1-alls across the whole season.
There's 3 there, so 4.
1, I think 2,
5
3
altogether.
4, 5 1-alls. So that's 30. And then every draw on top of that.
Yeah, but how many draws were there altogether?
On top of that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, 35. So 1-all would have been 35. So we all would have beaten.
You only just beat 1-all, Lee.
I vote with my emotions rather than logic, so I had to change.
That's not a good thing.
You were closer to 1-all than you were to second place.
To change my tactics for next season to just be.
But yeah, next season, I reckon what we do is say now you get the correct result, but also say now you guess 1-0 and it's 2-0. For me, you're closer than somebody who said 2-1 because you got the clean sheet right. So I reckon if it's a clean sheet and you guessed a clean sheet, you get an extra point. And if it's a score win and you guessed both teams to score win, you get an extra point. Do you get what I mean? So like, it adds an extra bonus point if you get the defensive element of it right.
Yeah, we'll increase the rules to make it more interesting. Maybe we can also add like a name 1 goal scorer for a bonus point or something.
Yeah, and I think if you get a draw, maybe, and I reckon if you get a draw correct, that should be worth more as well, because I think it's easier to predict a team to win than it is to predict a team the match to end in a draw.
Yeah,
but a result's a result, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think
more weight on a result that is always one of 3 results.
I don't know. Like, look at this.
We'll finalise the rules.
Charlton at home. There needs to be ways to differentiate it a bit more, because fair enough, you somehow got 3-1. But in normal circumstances, we would have gone 2-0, 1-0, 2-1 when we expected the team at home to win. And then, like, maybe one of us gets a correct score. But, like, it just, over the course of a season, it just puts more weight on actually knowing how you expect a game to pan out, is all I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe we
will reevaluate. Look at this, trying to dethrone me with like.
Or maybe we should do like 1 or 2 a season where you could double up the points where you're so confident of a win. And we call it the John.
Oh, you could play like a triple captain.
Yeah, he's so confident of a win, like John was, and then
I'm playing my John card. Play my John.
Double confident of a Swans win or something.
All right, I like the John card.
So you can get like 2, one for the first half of the season and one for the second half of the season.
One for first half, one for second half.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We should get John to do a prediction. He can be the faceless prediction.
Yeah.
Let's see. You can see if he can regain his credibility.
We play a John card every week.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the players. So let me get that up. We don't have to go into detail on this. I just need a score and then we'll compare them because I know time is getting on. This one. And then I will show you. Actually, if I share the screen, it'll be easier for people who are watching. I'll show you the comparison when I fill it in. Let me just change this a second. So you can start talking to Andy Fisher's the first. So anyone got any words on Andy Fisher?
6, barely played fine when he did, just standard in there. I feel like all the ones who barely get on the pitch are going to be 6 unless they were particularly bad when they played.
Yeah, solid backup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going 6 as well?
I'll go. I got to try and think now. I start this with
No. You can't think how you went before.
Reflex response. That's all we want.
Yeah, 6.
Okay.
Because what we did later on, I might change my mind about what like average is.
You could change it if you want to go back to someone at the end. That's fine.
Right, 6.
Okay. I'm going to go 6 as well because I think when he did play in the cup, he actually did. I think generally he's been criticised heavily in the past. I think this season people were quite content seeing him in goal. Vigouroux. Lee, you can go first this time.
9.
Yeah, same. Wow, this is good. Do we want to rate Farman because we didn't last time because he hadn't played?
One game in the cup is no point, is it?
Okay, I'll leave that as NA.
Joshua Miles.
Josh Key. This is me now. I'm gonna go 6 because I think he had a bit of a redemption arc. Ben.
4.
I think 6 as well for the comeback. Yeah.
I think it took a bit of mental strength to come back from that, and I think he did quite well towards the end of the season. Ben Cabango.
7.
Lee.
6.
I'm going 6 as well. Josh Tyman. Lee.
9.
On a side note, before we carry on here, because I noticed this earlier, on the website that I've got on the screen now, you can see all the players. They've added in all of their middle names. They weren't here last time. Because I watched the video back to put the scores in earlier.
No, I'm going to change that. I'm giving Tyman 10.
Well, what did you say? 9? I
Yeah.
didn't even question it. You're going 10?
Yeah.
I go 9.
10.
Okay. Cameron Burgess, 5.
6.
Yeah, 6.
Ishe Samuel Smith.
5.
Yeah, 5.
I'm going to go 6. Ricardo Santos.
2.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll have to go as high as 2. I can't go any.
I go 1.
Yeah.
What have you gone, Lee?
I'd say 2.
Okay. Joe Wardley.
4.
I don't know if we would have ranked him the last time.
No,
What did you say? 4?
Yeah, let's go 4.
5.
5 as well. I don't feel like you're there. Sam Parker. I'm going to go 7.
Yeah, 7.
6.
You're harsh, you are. Jay Felton.
8.
8, yeah, I'm going 8.
Yeah, go on in. Now everyone's going to say that we are Jay Felton simps, but I probably already think that anyway. Lee Stamenic.
I'll go 8 as well.
Yeah, same. I think they've been quite good, the pair of them.
7.
Melka Vidal, I'm going to go with 7. I feel like I might want 8. I don't know. No, I can't put everyone 8 because if their only midfield was that good, then we probably would have had a better season.
6 for me.
Yeah, 6 for me as well.
Kind of want to change Stamenic and Felton to 7s now. Yalkuye.
5.
Say 5, Lee.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 4. Franco Lee.
7.
7 as well.
8.
I need to review my midfielders all over the place.
Yeah, see, go along.
I haven't put Volta in. I'll add him at the end. Galbraith.
9.
Yeah, 9.
I'm going to put 8. Not necessarily.
Well, I was toying with 8.
I just think he's played out of position a lot, and it's not his own fault that he's there. But maybe he didn't have the influence for me towards the end of the season that he had earlier on in the season. Ollie Cooper.
He only played 20 minutes, and I don't know.
No, but we ranked him last time, so we're going to have to do it.
4. I'm basing him off the loan spell and the fact that he didn't really feature that heavily there.
I'm just going to go 5 because again, there's not much to say. Lee's debating this one heavily.
Oh, sorry, I did say probably didn't come through.
No, 4.
Oh.
Yeah, I've just gone 5 because it's just like didn't really see him. Vapotnik.
10.
Yeah, it can't be anything else.
I'm going to go 10.
Yeah,
last time. You crucified me last time, both of you, when I went 9. But I said 9? At the time, because I said I didn't want to give anyone a 10 mid-season.
Oh, mid-season. Oh, yeah. Right. I thought
you two went nuts.
I thought you meant originally.
What else?
We had every right to go nuts because he's won the Golden Boot.
Yeah, now we have. Goals. Now he's won it. He hadn't won it in January.
Yeah, if the season ended in January, he was 10 up to that point.
Well, the season hadn't finished though.
Yeah, but you can't give him a rating.
No. He had a couple of games that he missed a couple of sitters in.
Harsh.
Look, I've put him up to a 10 now because he's finished the season and he continued doing that. So I feel like I can reward him.
10. That's a great shout.
Huh?
You gave the Golden Boot winner a 10. That's a great shout.
Well, what do you want me to give him?
I'm talking.
Tough one, isn't he? Because his last 10 games is just.
I'm gonna go 5.
I'll give him 6, I think.
4.
Liam
Cullen.
I haven't got Nunes on here either. So what do I need? Volta and Nunes.
Cullen.
5 for me.
Yeah, 5.
5 as well. Manuel Benson.
1.
He's the one that has disappeared off the list.
Can we give 0?
If you want to give him 0?
0.
I'm going to go 1. What did Ben say? Sorry,
I said 1.
Do you think Benson may be in the Hall of Fame of the Tabanu signings up there with one of them?
No,
Renato Sanchez.
I don't think when we signed Tab and new people were going, "Oh, this guy can get us top 6."
Yeah,
I know we were in the Prem, but you take my point. Benson.
He's probably more Renato Sanchez-esque, isn't he?
Yeah, we were watching highlight reels, expecting him to score like 5 worldies on loan. You know what I mean?
Roque
He barely looked like
Mesa.
he could run.
I think thinking back, I know it's not this one, but I think when we ranked the signings at the time, I think I might have given it like a 9 or a 10.
I'll check in a minute.
Yeah, I think I gave him 8 or 9 from memory.
Bobby Wales was the next one.
He looked good when he played. I'd say 5, but it's not that he did anything wrong. I think it's annoying he went out on loan and he barely got a kick for, was it Huddersfield?
Yeah, that was really weird. I'll have to go 5 as well, just down the middle.
Did we recall him in the end?
No.
I just didn't play.
We just sent him to a place that had like 4 decent strikers and expected him to play.
What did you give him? Sorry, Ben.
5. Looks a good player though, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't mind him.
Lee?
Did he make an appearance at all? I gave him 5 as well.
Yeah, no, he did play. He played in the cup and he scored in like.
How did he score?
10 minutes. Was it against Plymouth? Who did he score against?
He had 5 appearances apparently.
He even got chucked out of the wing at one point because of how hopeless our wingers were.
Yeah.
Give him 5 as well. Inusa?
You'd have to say 4, wouldn't you? Unfortunately.
You could say
what did he do? I know he had injuries. What did he actually do?
Yeah, we didn't really do much before he got
I'm going to give him probably 4 as well, actually.
I played longer than I thought. He got injured in January. I'll go 4. What did you two say? 5?
4.
You've ranked him the same as
Yeah.
Adam Eder. I'm going to go 5.
6.
7.
Ooh.
Bit of a spread there.
Maybe I'm being harsh with 5. I feel like maybe I should go 6. But I was considering the fact he was injured, which isn't his fault. But like,
it's recency bias, isn't it?
It's still
7.
I think there's two Eders, like pre-injury and post-injury. I think he looked really good when he came back.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, for his season, I'm not saying it's his fault, but like the impact he had on the team, his injuries part of that. So that's why I've gone.
Yeah, I was thinking like 6 goals when he barely played behind the top scorer. Like he missed 3 months, still scored 6 goals and got a couple of assists as well. I think he had.
How many appearances was 6 goals in?
Have a look. 6 starts. I don't know. He had a few like 4 or 5 minutes off the bench, 7.
It was a. That's why I've given him a 5 because the season's just up and down. I don't think he's necessarily been as bad as what people thought early season.
He had like 25 appearances, but some of them are like 3-4 minutes off the bench. In terms of like, he's got the best. This is a bit weird stat. He's got the best like minutes per goal contribution ratio.
He's got better than Popotnik.
Yeah, he's got a better ratio than Popotnik in like minutes per goal contribution. But that's just because he's played less minutes, and like Woodward was our number 1 because he had 12 minutes and 1 assist.
Ronald.
2.
Wow.
Probably 4.
I'm gonna go. What did I give him? I'm gonna give him the same 5.
5. Who else did you give a 5 to, just in comparison? Okay.
Yeah, but like
Eder.
Yeah, but it's not. I've just explained that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ronald is pressing is a massive part of the way we play. As much as we want more from him, that pressing probably had more of an impact on a lot of the games than Eder did. I think that's a fair comment.
Do you think Ronald had more of an impact than Eder?
No, that's not what I said, is it? You're taking words out of my mouth now.
So when we've said his pressing is more important than Eder's.
So the way that Matos wants to play, I think Ronald's pressing.
Clutching a straw.
I'm not clutching.
Saying his pressing is good.
Yeah, that's why he's in the team. I think we've had this conversation.
Lee, don't rise to admit this is the guy who didn't give Apotnik a 10.
I
Can't
know.
take his opinion seriously.
And Harry Kane wouldn't score goals in our
Oh
team.
yeah, I forgot about that one.
Harry Kane on course for the Ballon d'Or this year after a 60-goal season.
He's playing in the Farmers League. Anyway, who else? I give Joel Ward a 5. I give Cameron Burgess a 5. He's okay. I'll change that to 6. That's fine.
No.
No
Well, we
change.
said we can revise
We
it.
can't see the spreadsheet. Only you can see.
Well, if you want to change player, tell me, and I'll tell you what you've put.
No, I
I'll
don't
show
make
you the
mistakes, it's
spreadsheet in a
fine.
minute. Like, I have given like Ollie Cooper and Bobby Wales a 5, but the reason I've
Yeah.
given them a 5 is because they haven't done anything bad to go
No,
down, and they haven't
It's
done anything
difficult,
good
isn't it?
to go up.
It's
So,
like
like-
it's subjective based on like
Yeah.
the person's situation.
difficult to
Like
sort of
Fisher
rank
being
that.
given a 6 and a 7, and I think he only played like 3 or 4 games. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's tough. It's
Yeah. So there's context behind everyone's individual scores, Lee. Okay, you can't just say.
No, I agree with the 5s for like players we haven't seen. I mean, it's difficult to even rate them.
And I've given Yalkuye a 4. Is that okay?
You think Ronald was better than Yalkui?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Yalkuye was like Bambi on ice.
I
most of the time.
didn't give him a high rating. To be fair, I didn't give Yalk. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't give him.
You give him 5.
There we go.
I mean, you give Ronald a 2, so you've given him a significantly better rating than Ronald. But
Yeah.
I'm not saying Ronald's like great at all. I just think he contributes in a different way to end product. If he was more end product, he'd have a higher score than a 5. He still scored 6 goals or 5 goals, was it?
a lot of them came in like the first month, didn't they? He scored like 4 goals in the
How
first.
many assists did he have?
I don't know.
Did you say 6?
Yeah, let me double check.
So is it 10 goal contributions then? I think
Wouldn't
that's a
think
5.
so,
That's
yeah.
fine.
4 goals, 5 assists. 4 goals, 5 assists.
The 9 goal contributions.
He played in every game.
Equally, and not only does he play every game, he like never gets subbed off. There is
Yeah, no,
context to
and
that as well, isn't there?
I agree. That's not good enough. That's why he's a 5 and not higher than a 5.
And 4 of his goal contributions came in.
It doesn't matter when they come. The season's a season, isn't it?
So the last 39 games, he had 5 goal contributions.
You could score a hat trick in the first 10 games of the season. You win the Golden Boot if you didn't score another goal.
He had a goal contribution every 347 minutes across the whole season.
I've given him a 5. Ben's given him a 4. It's not that much different, is it?
I know 4 just feels a lot harsher than 5 in terms of like how it sounds. Just my opinion.
You've given a 6.
Yeah, I like I think he did.
Why are you not giving him scrutiny for that, Lee?
I think he did 2 points better than Ronald. I don't think that's a what you call.
Well, not on the goal metrics, he didn't, did he?
That's not the only way you measure a player, though, is it?
There we are then. Exactly my point.
I went 2 to 4.
Thank you.
So I gave him a 2 bump. But
Yeah,
I'm giving Eon.
You just made my point for me.
I measure a winger based on how they contribute to the attack. He can't attack. I don't care if he's got 9 goal contributions compared to what Om's got. You can't beat the man. He literally just looks to win a corner or dive to win a foul.
Yeah, but come on. He needs the point for the earring.
No, it's rare that I have a player I've been building up for 3 years of watching Ronaldo. I said,
have you got a photo with him?
No.
Well, I have. So that's why he gets an extra point, okay?
You can give him an extra point for that. That's
I'm
fine.
joking. I'm joking. Anyway, he's having a 5. What are we giving Volta?
You'll have to have the 5 for hardly playing.
He looked well off the pace at first. He looked decent towards the end. I feel like if I gave him 4, it'd be discrediting him because he's literally just building up to speed in a different league. So 5.
Nunes?
I'm going to say 4 just because he looked so hot off the press when he came in. And I was really hoping, oh, there we are, that finally got a decent winger. And then he was getting kept out of the team by bang average people.
Yeah, I'm going to give him 5. Lee?
I'm trying to think what I gave Ronald and Eon. So I
gave Ronald a 2 and you gave Eon a 4.
So I'll have to put him in the middle and give him 3.
Okay.
Even though it's probably a bit harsh, but I can't give him higher than because he couldn't keep him. He couldn't keep them out of the team, so he didn't.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's part of that his age. Like,
I know he didn't like. He looked alright to be fair sometimes, but then he didn't really like answer the problem with the wingers that he didn't like push them really.
I think he was only there to give him an extra option. I don't think he was ever there to take their position. Like, it's his first senior football, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think he probably got more to give, to be honest. But yeah, that's it.
And I feel like he was on managed minutes. He must have been.
Yeah, maybe.
So this is, I know it's like a lot of numbers here, but I just want to, my spreadsheet skills are not as good as Ben's, not going to lie. But you can see where you ranked them in both mid-season and compared to now. So I think the standout one for me here at the moment is Josh Key. Ben, give him +1 to be fair. Me and you give him an extra 3 points from January. So maybe we've been a bit recency bias.
Yeah, maybe.
But we've all given Fisher a 6. I actually went down 1. So probably again, I don't think did he play since then? Maybe once or twice in the cup. Who do we have in the FA Cup?
City, wasn't it?
Wasn't that League Cup?
Was it league? Well,
yeah, I can't remember in the FA Cup.
Season's so old now, isn't it?
Ben Cabango. Me and Ben thought he went down second half of the season. I think that's fair. I think we had some conversations about them being quite the defensive pair being an issue towards the end of the season. Lee kept him as a 6 consistently. Timon, you actually went up in just Lee's, but I've kept him as a 9. The main reason I kept him as a 9 and not a 10 is because I've got 1 9 and 1 10, and I think I've just put for Potnick Pippin for me as the player of the season for me, and then Timon will be second. But that's how I want to differentiate it. I don't really want to give more than one person a 10, personally. So, they were both vying for it mid-season, and now I've awarded the result, so you can get off my back. Anyone else standing out yours? A bit of a discrepancy. That's exactly the same look, which is Samuel Smith.
Ricardo Santos is...
Even though he didn't kick a ball since we rated him.
I mean, I went 3 mid-season.
I think we clearly give him the same, as we were just saying with the Ollie Coopers, the Bobby Wales, we give him a 5 because how can he go up or down? We clearly used that mentality in January, and for some reason we haven't used it now.
I don't know. It's just like a bad signing on it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's because we just, we put the signing into consideration. Joel Ward, then, we all had, obviously, he'd only just signed and we gave him a 5. I think that was based on what the signing could be as well. Lee, you went down to 4. Any reason?
Couldn't remember what I did in January, to be honest, but I think that's more there or thereabouts, isn't it? I think 5.
Sam Parker.
All right.
Yeah. Sam Parker's gone up for all of us. Obviously, had a good end to the season.
The ball before when we done the rank, did we? So that's like a fresh rank. Really.
Yeah, he's kicked on me.
You both have joined me in my Jay Felton appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put him up to an 8. Staminich 7 8s again all round, really. Vidal, exactly the same, actually, which I'm surprised at you two. Like, obviously, you didn't know what you put in January because I didn't tell you before we'd done this. You gave him a 6 in January. I thought he got stronger as the season went on, especially in Matos' system.
I think looking at it though, by January he's already he was playing a lot.
Yeah, maybe because I already gave him a 7 as well, which I've maintained. So maybe that is correct.
Because he didn't start a game until Sheehan's last 2 games he started before Sheehan was started. That's when and then we get into November and December, and then he's playing a lot more then. So I think he was playing well.
I definitely agree. He kicked on second half of the season.
Yeah.
Like Lee had said, when we did these rankings, it's probably recency bias in that he had started featuring a bit more. For me, I was toying between 6 and 7 just now, but he hasn't scored for us still, and he was brought in.
He should have. He was robbed against Southampton.
I mean, he should have had a few by now. I'm not saying, but he was brought in not to be trying to get double digits or anything, obviously, but to contribute maybe 5 goals a season from midfield, so not he isn't even off the mark yet. So I couldn't give a 7 myself.
Yeah, we're obviously we haven't got long left of the video now, but I'll come back to him slightly at the end. Franco, I think the second half of the season by this, we think he's had a better time. I think he did have a bit of a poor start, didn't he?
Yeah, he went back to like his best towards the end of the season. He's back to like what we expect.
It's my biggest discrepancy, or joint biggest discrepancy, that Franco 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galbraith. I mean, we're still giving him quite high marks, aren't we? Like, he's my only 8. No, he's not my only 8. There's a couple. I've downgraded him, but I spoke about this earlier, based on, I think, just the impact that he was having. I think when he first went to right back, he was having a good impact from there, but I think the longer he was there, his impact was waning a bit, and I do think maybe he got a bit tired as the season went on. Not saying he had a bad season whatsoever. He's clearly a quality player, but I think we want him in the middle for a full season. He clearly wants that as well.
If
we didn't actually discuss that today. We're not going to, but we'll talk about that perhaps next time. Ollie Cooper, I don't think there's anything to say really.
The 5-5-5 at the start was just standard on it. Vapotnik 10-10-10. Again, nothing really to discuss apart from glad to see you finally come to your senses.
Right, Lee. Ji-sung, you've actually put him up since January.
He was better after January, to be fair.
I've put him down, weirdly.
He was better, but
I probably should have kept him at a 6 in hindsight, but there we go. Liam Cullen, kind of the same.
It was a weird season for him, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, it was odd.
I think
kind of a spare part.
It did feel like a spare part, and I feel like he got persisted with being at number 8 so much, and he's just not. And half of it's because of Bellamy with Wales and how he has been played there multiple times. Like, he does have parts of his game where he's just not comfortable receiving the ball, and he just tries to turn into his man, not scanning the space behind him properly, and he just hasn't ironed it out. He's still got that issue. That's part of his game.
I don't think he's a number 8. I hate seeing him in that position, I'm not going to lie. And I think it's probably been detrimental to his career, really.
Because he scored a fair few goals, considering how little time he spent in the final third.
But that just shows that he's got that quality still when we can use him correctly. I think a lot of the criticism that he's getting from fans is because he's not being used correctly. Maybe they don't know where to use him, but it's not working where he's being played now.
I don't know where his best position is.
No,
I think he's always been someone who benefits more in a front two, and we just don't.
When he played with Joe Perreault, that's when he was good.
Yeah, we just don't want to do that for some reason, do we? We don't want to have a striker pair, and we did it once or twice with Potnik and Ida, but didn't really do it too much.
Only off the bench, really, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Benson, again, he didn't kick a ball since we last rated him, but he's gone down. Bobby
I think
Wales
that's why
average.
he's gone down, though, isn't it?
Well, he just disappeared off the face of the earth. Zidane Nanusa, which probably didn't really play since we rated him last, but again, you could argue that's why he's gone down. The biggest discrepancy, you both put him down a point.
Someone put him up.
No, I kept 4. Lee's put him down. You've put him down.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. These scores here, they're just difference of a number. It's not plus or minus.
Someone had him as 3 on the left.
Oh, you're right. My mistake. Lee's put him up.
Yeah, I can't remember what I did. 4 was probably fair at the time.
I feel like it wasn't just that one injury at the end. He had a couple of smaller injuries. Part
well,
of
he
that
started the season unfit.
Yeah, part of that rank is just the fitness issues he had coming in, really.
Yeah.
Definitely, which is the same for me with Ida, which he's gone up quite a bit, actually, with you two. You both upped him too. I kept him the same. I think he did have a better end of the season, but I think, we paid a lot of money for him and we didn't get him for a lot of the season, which I think is why I've gone 5, really.
Yeah, I went 6 just because we finally saw, for me, a fit Adam Ida when he came back from injury. He finally looked like he could run at the rate we needed him to.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with a 6. I think that's fair.
I was just impressed because I think my probably reflects like I was quite low on him at the start of the season to where he finished. I was actually think he's a really good player. I think he looks really good. Like his first game back was that 3-3 draw against Sheffield United where he came on and single-handedly changed the game, I thought. got a goal and assist, and literally changed the game on his own. I thought he was brilliant.
And Ronald. So Lee, you rated him as a 4 in January, and now you've put him down to a 2.
He got worse.
Did he?
And I've had the same drop from 6 to 4.
He got
2-point drop,
Yeah.
but I feel like that is
I kept him the
reflective.
same.
That is reflective for me, to be honest, of how his impact in the final third. Not that he was having massive impact in the first half of the season, but there was at least something second half of the season. It was just. Yeah.
I don't have an issue with him being a lower score. Maybe I'll put him a 4 in hindsight of reviewing everything. Like, bear in mind, people watching this now, you're probably shouting at the screens with those scores. We literally, I told them not to really prep it. We're going to do it off the cuff. What's your feeling on the spot? I think if you sit down, look at the stats, look at replays and things like that, some of these scores might be adjusted. That's not what we were really going for with the ranking system we've done here. I don't have an issue if Ronald had a lower score, but I also, like, he's got issues that we've discussed a lot, but I do think he was part of that team that played and got to the place they finished. I think he did okay. He just needs to do a lot better.
It's concerning to me that I can go through that entire list of players and not far off man for man. I'd say the vast majority of them, you would say, fared better under Matos. I know the entire team did, so it's going to appear that way. But then Ronald, for me, didn't.
Yeah.
And I know we're saying about off the ball he's important, but like on the ball, he should have been in a system where he had more opportunities to contribute in the final third, and he just didn't showcase it for me.
I just don't know if he's got that ability in him. And like,
I think it is fatigue with him now, because I think like there's a lot of players that we looked at, like say Vidal and then maybe Volta and Nusa, saying you need a season to bed in. He's been here for a while now. Like, he's had enough time in the championship, and he's got worse. Like, he came in as a bit of an unknown, and we thought, okay, he looks a bit sharp, and he was unknown in the league, and then it's just nosedive since then, and it's just, like we said, it's got worse since January. It's got worse. You say
I can't wait for the September Ronald apology form to come back.
Oh yeah, when he scores like 2 goals in August and then goes missing again for the rest of the season. But like, say about off the ball, I think he got worse than that as well. Remember like the Wrexham game when he just like stood there for the broadhead ball and just like let him walk through.
But you were saying he'd be good as a wing back.
He probably could be a wing back because he's a good engine, but
got to have delivery to be a wing back as well.
Yeah, it just hasn't got like. In the end, though, I feel, again, we could go on about it all night, we won't, but in the end, I felt quite bad because it was like universal that he was disliked and there was like his confidence was gone. And there was, I can't remember which game it was at home where he was like played in and he was like, we were sort of on the counter attack and he was running at the defender and the defender just like looked at him and took the ball off him and the whole crowd was just like, oh my God, this is the end sort of thing. It was a bit of a weird. I can't remember what game it was. He's just running at the defender like he's going to try and take him on, and the defender just like looked at him and just took the ball off him. And then the whole crowd was just like, "What is going on?" And there was a few where he was just like passing into touch, and so I think like his confidence is long gone as well. But I didn't think he was good enough.
Okay, so player of the season,
Vipotnik.
It's got to be Vipotnik.
Yeah, I think that's.
Ronald.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because like there is this debate really that you could say Timon and you could say the Guru, to be honest. But like if you can't give it to Vipotnik now, then you know he was up for player of the season in the whole league.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Signing of the season.
Ooh. Galbraith, I guess, right?
I'm trying to think.
Basing off the rankings, he's the only one that we signed in the summer who I've given.
I would say Galbraith.
9.
Stamanic, I guess. Yeah, that would have to be Galbraith, wouldn't it?
Goal of the season. Mine is Timon.
Timon literally won EFL goal of the season, so I feel like the prediction sort of.
Yeah, but he didn't win Swans goal of the season.
I know, but come on, I think
that's crazy.
You could put those 2 goals next.
How are they doing that? That's just stupid.
Yeah,
I know
they're trying to be nice, but like, come off it.
It's the same. I know they, like you said, they've tried to like make it think because like even with us doing this, like you've got the top scorer in the league and you've got the player who won goal of the season in the EFL. So it's like,
and Callan's goal, hell of a goal.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't even one of those typical like halfway line goals where it's like, oh, you have all the time in the world to think about it and the keeper's well off his line. No one thought he was going to shoot. He did just sort of like get out his feet really quickly and do it. And it was a brilliant goal. But
Yeah.
EFL goal of the season. Come on.
That was such a good goal that time, and oh my god.
Flop of the season.
Benson.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, there's no other answer, is there? You can't have another answer. These are all boring. Oh shit.
It's quite clear cut, these, isn't they? They're just.
Yeah. Okay. One to watch for next season. Then I'm going. I'm torn between Volta and Vidal.
I'm going Parker.
Because I think, I don't know which one I want to go with. I think I'm going to go Vidal because I think he's had longer to bed in. Someone already mentioned should have scored more goals. I think he's just going to just kick on. I think Volta will as well, but I think he's had less experience. Although he probably might have more quality.
For me to call them one to watch, they can't already be embedded in the first team. Vidal's a starter, so I'm torn between Parker or Lissa.
What I mean is, like,
to be honest,
would you think next season is going to kick on?
Yeah, he's going to like take a step up.
Yeah, you can have Parker if you want Parker.
Yeah, but I think I do want Parker because for me he's ahead of Key now if he's fit. Personally,
this is a difficult one because you're right. Volta could be one, Vidal is definitely one. But then I also look at like Ida if Vopotnik goes. I think Ida.
But it could be, yeah.
Based on what he did at the end of the season. Like Inusa, I don't know if he's fit. He has a full season.
Yeah, but I think all of these players could fit into that category.
Yeah,
they won't all fit into it next year when we come to the end of the season. They're not all going to do it. But like, that's the question. Who do you think is going to be that person that stands up next year? Like, Vopotnik's the example, yeah? So like, look at his first season to second. Who's that going to be next year?
I think I'll go Ida.
Ida?
Yeah.
God, he's got a love in with Ida all of a sudden now.
I'm so impressed with him at the end of the season. Honestly, I thought he was so good at the end of the season.
I feel like there's some clips we could resurface from earlier in the season about you not liking him so much. That might be quite funny.
That's why my score jumped up because he was a different player when he came back.
Did I have any other categories? Young player of the season. I guess it's going to be the same for everyone again.
What do you class as young? What age?
Someone from our academy, I guess, is what I want from that. So for me, it's Parker.
You can't give a young player of the season to someone who's only played like 4 games, though, surely. And the issue of our squad is quite a lot of them are like 24. We don't actually have many, believe it or not, who are like 21.
I guess like we could expand it and you'd have a look at like Lissa. I know he didn't play for us. But in terms of what he's done from as a Swansea player going out and doing well.
Because if you look at that list, I'm fairly sure Parker's the only one who's actually
maybe that's is a dead category then, but yeah.
If you want to say lone player, he's like loaned out Lissa is going to win it hands down, and it might just be
Congreve.
Yeah. Might just be by default because he's the only young one.
Really have a
there, to be honest.
That's probably enough categories anyway. If Parker's the only one that qualifies, let's get rid.
We didn't have a standout loaned-in player really this year, either, did we?
Samuel Smith,
Casey. It was Casey. It was Casey, but he got recalled.
Yeah, it probably would be Casey, even though he's only half a season.
It's not a good thing because normally this time, like every season,
we'd be crying about losing them.
Afford to lose these loan players, which shows we've actually recruited quite well.
Yeah. Do you wanna let me run over. So I'll run over this really quickly, just so that you can see what you put as these guys for the people we signed, the transfer predictions we did.
At the start.
Yeah, I know it's getting late, lads. I'm sorry. But
the Benson one.
So what happens when we don't do a podcast for 2 months?
I'm so sure I got Benson as 9. 9, 10, 10.
Burgess. We were quite excited about the replacement for Harry Darling. We thought we'd upgraded. I think maybe we can all say we were wrong.
Yeah.
Galbraith, probably a bit spot on. I feel a bit harsh giving him an 8 in my rankings, but I don't know. I just feel like the first half of the season was better than the second half. Inusa, Perhaps a little bit disappointing. Injuries didn't help.
Yeah.
Bobby Wales, I mean, we
Can't-
didn't think he'd make much of an impact, and that's kind of how we rated him in the end.
Oh, I remember I gave 5's a bit high for me on Santos, but I think what I said was like,
we've got that right though. In terms of what we thought, most other than yours.
It's on paper at the time of the signing, isn't it? We're like,
is he going World Cup then? Just noticing that
I
Cape
didn't realize
Verde.
he's Cape Verde.
I don't know if he is.
He's got a cap.
Let's have a
He's
check.
probably injured, isn't he? To be honest,
Yeah, he
he
probably
hasn't
is.
played all season. He's not going to World Cup. He has given me a moment of the season though. That's what I wanted to ask. Moment of the season was when that game in Bristol City, that infamous really bad one under Dara Odia, where he outran Anusa, sprinting back to try and get a last-ditch tackle in to save a goal.
He outran Anusa.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
Anusa wasn't bothered,
Yeah, I remember that.
but Santos come
crazy.
on off the bench, didn't he? And he actually tried, to be fair to him. And Anusa's got the head start, and Santos goes past him, trying to get to the guy who's going to score a goal.
I mean, for me, the moment of the season's got to be Burgess against Forest, isn't it? Which, in hindsight, was a
Moment of
winner
the
against.
season. Yeah.
Yeah, in hindsight, was a last-minute winner against Europa League semi-finalist, which feels crazy to say now.
Yeah.
Frank
And
goes,
that meme, innit? There's a meme from that now with the Poch face.
yeah. Got Franco's goal against Man City.
Where we all thought, oh my god, we're gonna get one back on Mark Clattenburg and the Guardiola game from like 5 years ago, and then they did just batter a second half, didn't they?
Ange face, sorry. Yeah, everyone uses that now. Farman, I mean, we rated
Played a
5 because
game,
we haven't
didn't
seen
he?
him. Played one game. I guess that's quite an accurate reflection. Yalkuye,
I'm
bit
surprised
disappointing.
we only gave 7s because there was a lot of hype about that signing.
I think we were like hyped, but a little bit of unknown, and he's young.
Mm.
So I guess it's good that we were a little bit reserved because we've ended up being a bit lower again from what we thought. Vidal gone up a bit.
Yeah.
And it's
I've gone
interesting
up the
'cause
most actually.
I was gonna say it's
Guys
interesting
gone
because
down.
I gave 7 there, and I actually only gave a 6 in the end, and you started with a 5, and I went up to 7.
Yeah, and Lee's just the same.
You skipped
We didn't
Stamenic,
rank
didn't you?
Casey because he got recalled, but I think that's fair.
Did you skip Stamenic?
I did. I'll go back. I think that would be fair for Casey.
Yeah, he did well.
Yeah, I didn't mind Casey, to be fair. Surprised he dropped down a league.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to go Orient.
Stamenic, we all give 9. Me and Lee give him an 8. I think, did you give an 8? No, you give him 7.
No,
I
think
gave
him and Fulton 8, yeah.
I gave a 7. And
I
tell
think
you
he's
what,
been a good signing. I think he's been a bit of an enforcer. I know that he's got flaws and weaknesses, and
Yeah.
he's not always perfect. But like that's someone we needed in the squad.
we did need that. But I tell you what, this was complete recency bias because this was after 2
He had a
games
class
watching
debut.
him play, and
Yeah.
he did unreal in those first 2
Oh,
games. He was spraying the ball about, he was breaking everything up. We were like,
Yeah.
I think we nearly gave him a 10. I think you nearly gave him a 10, Lee, from memory.
Yeah,
I do still think he's been that player. Just it's hard to do that in a championship week in, week out, I'd imagine.
His short passings was winding me up because I don't know what it is. Give him like 2 yards of space and he can spray a ball across the field, no problem. But it's just simple passes, A
Yeah.
to B, 5 yards across the face. He just can't do half the time. It's strange.
Yeah, maybe that's his weakness. I do think he's a strong midfielder in the championship, though.
Oh yeah, we need a profile like that. And Felton won't go forever, will he?
Yeah, I like him a lot, Stamenic. I think as a
And he
signing,
can score a goal.
rated a 9 as a signing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's another set piece threat and adds muscle to defend them as well. So
Yeah.
guaranteed yellow card in a bet builder.
And he had some adversity with some family, grievances during the season that he had to deal with as well. And I think he got on with that really, really well, and fair play to him. So I think he's had a good year, and I think it's been a good signing. And it's one that we perhaps wouldn't have expected. I think that's addressing an issue in the squad that we went out and did that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in amongst us not getting Lewis O'Brien when that happened.
I forget he's only 23. Yeah. Well, probably 24 now. But...
I have clicked on Ida, but it's broke. There we are. Ida, I mean, I went down. You went up.
I went down. Did I go down 2? What did I do for Reader? 6 was it, or 7? I think 6.
One of them.
I think I went 7.
I went 6. Yeah, I think I went 8 on the assumption that he was gonna prove a few people wrong. To be honest, I remember 8 was a bit unpopular at the time, and obviously it's turned out that way. I kind of thought, being in a system of Celtic where he's just getting shot volume off all the time, I was hoping he'd come in and sort of carry it over a bit. But obviously the system we had under Sheehan was atrocious. Then he got injured.
He joined injured as well, didn't he?
And this was the thing we haven't mentioned, mind. He was fit for our worst part of the season. He was injured for most of the part where we actually were getting more chances to our strikers.
Yeah.
And where he'd probably get more opportunity on the pitch.
Mm.
Simon Smith, everyone said 7. Again, I think this is after we saw him in the cup a little bit. We didn't see him too much more after, so it's probably just a hard one to really judge. I think he did a decent job when he played.
I want to say, with Ishii Samuel Smith, there was talk that he could just be somewhat involved at Chelsea when we got him. So it was seen as a bit of a coup, a bit
it's
of a
hard
surprise.
to know with Chelsea. It's such a mess there.
Yeah.
I think it was weird at the time as well, because wasn't he at Strasbourg and then
for a month, and then came straight back to Chelsea.
Transfer, it was weird. But I think in terms of what we needed, that was still a really good signing, because we've never had cover for Tymon, and the fact that he was there all season basically and did a job when he was asked to do a job. He's never going to play instead of Tymon.
No. And that's why it's so hard to cover that position, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the one in it. This is the Renato Sanchez.
I'm glad we didn't give him 9 at least. I thought I'd given him higher than 7. I can't lie.
I went mad on this. But I don't know. It just made so much sense. We were desperate for wingers.
Do you remember as well, he nearly didn't get over the line, and then it was announced the next day, and we were like, is he or isn't he? Did we get the paperwork in?
And it's really rare that
and it was just rubbish.
We got it through an appeal, which I think I remember reading it. The appeals with these things almost never work. It almost never actually comes back. Oh yeah, your appeal's accepted. And it's annoying, right? Because if you look at his profile, right winger, left footed. Yeah. I know Congreve's played regularly this season now, which is good for him, but we gave him however many appearances off the bench and starts and whatever. He did nothing in any of them. That could have been Congreve. You know what I mean?
You got 1 assist, I think.
Lee, you need to change it from a 0 to a 1 then.
It's gutting because
it's probably got more assists per minute than Ronald and Eom.
Probably. It's not hard. It's so annoying because if we had the Benson that obviously played for Burnley in the Championship, it was it made so much sense. We finally had. Imagine Matos had that Benson, we would have been dangerous. But that's why it was so disappointing, because remember he went missing as well. Then he got on international duty and just didn't come back. And
yeah,
but that's when he just went in his January.
It's so annoying as well because it was between him and Patrick Roberts, and I think Birmingham wanted both of them. We wanted both of them, but we both wanted Roberts more, and he went Birmingham.
Yeah.
I love Patrick Roberts as well. Same profile.
He would have been good.
Yeah.
But there we go. Okay. Anything else?
No. Well done to anyone still listening. This has been a marathon.
Well, that's all right. I'm sure there will be. There's a couple of fans that have been missing us, and we appreciate everyone's support. Sorry, it's been a while. And apologies for the dark screen on my camera, by the way. It's boiling in my room. I had to turn the light off. I couldn't cope. So it's getting summer now, and I'm going to have to get the fan out. But yeah, so thanks as always for listening this far. Don't forget to leave comments. I'm sure we'll do some bits in the summer. Don't know what yet. We'll have to see what happens. Enjoy the World Cup. Couple of Swans to look out for there. I wonder how much of them we will see featured. But yeah, I think that's it from us. So we shall catch you in the next video.
In a bit.
See you soon.